You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Easy, you don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High high ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
What's going on? What's going on? If anybody didn't already know, check out the thumbnail. We're about to get it in for the Amber Turd live trial case.
What the coaster was that he slipped into your pocket, what it said.
Let me turn it
I love
up.
you forever, my Slim, dead or alive.
And what, if anything, did it have in addition?
Questions, comments, concerns, bring it up in the chat. We'll address it.
And to be, just so we're clear, on how many occasions in that second mediation
Hey,
did
Robbie.
Mr. Depp look you in the eye?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with our homegirl since they
Many.
did a cross with her earlier today.
And when Ms. Vasquez asked you if you knew why Mr. Depp couldn't or wouldn't look you in the eye here or in the UK, you said, yes, you know. Why? Please tell the jury why.
Because he's guilty. He knows he's lying. Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived. I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
She kept, every time she talked, she keep looking at the jury.
You were asked about a bruise that was on your arm from March. Do you recall how long before the picture you had sustained that bruise?
I do.
How long?
2 weeks.
You were asked a number of times by Ms. Vasquez if you took pictures from your incidents earlier in the relationship.
Hey, GQ was never here, Robbie.
Why didn't you?
Shh, shh.
It was something I started doing only kind of incidentally. You know, I was commenting to my best friend. I was looking for support from my mom, things like that. There was, I'm ashamed to say, never a thought that this would happen. I mean, not until December and my best friend taking pictures of me to capture it. That wasn't even a thing.
It has been suggested by Ms. Vasquez to you in your questions that you didn't tell anyone about the abuse until the TRO. Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
All right.
What?
What if any? All right. Who did you tell about the abuse during the time it was happening?
Objection, Your Honor,
That's
leading
not
Huh?
after, it's,
and hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, it's prior consistent statements.
It's
that you
leading,
raised
it's
it.
sustained. Next question.
Okay. What, if anything, did you tell to anyone about the abuse?
My
Objection, Your Honor,
therapist.
hearsay.
I'll sustain.
Your
the
Honor,
objection.
Your Honor, may I approach?
That's
on that?
fine.
Look at me. Look at me. You stand at the jury. I'm not gonna lie, this is like so uncomfortable. I don't care whose side it is. You got to hold that pose. I don't get it, Robbie. Hey, Robbie, if you want that link, man, let me know so we can have a discussion about this back and forth. Because I know you got that the good knowledge. Yeah, because she pretty much she started with that conversation, so she leaded with the question because of what she said about the pictures, with her best friend taking pictures. So I don't understand how that how's that hearsay. All right, links in the chat. This link is just for Robbie. and of course the Great Pill podcast team. Shout out to Mika Primal. Shout out to Poppy Blanco. That poor lady sitting down. I think she's the lady that be typing stuff. All right. Seems like they got it all figured out now. If you don't mind hitting the likes. Amber Turd.
Ms. Heard, how many people have you shared the fact of abuse prior to 2015?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
How
Calls for
many?
hearsay.
How many?
Overruled.
Shout out to you, Robbie. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks for covering this.
No.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I think she can, it's not offered, it's just showed that she informed people before. They're suggesting.
Objection,
she
Your
didn't
Honor.
tell
Can we
anybody.
approach? This is, again, inappropriate.
Camille is not having it, okay? She's like, what?
She on it today. She kind of screwed up earlier, though. She couldn't get a yes or no out of her all morning.
She said she had a nap. She done ate some candy. You know they always eating candy over there. Look at them. They greedy.
Well, to be honest, we can't talk. You got your drink, I got mine. I got my chips. So we all fucking up today.
Look. Truth be told.
Exactly. We all fucking up today.
Now, you were asked whether you had consulted a medical doctor about any problems with your nose, correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated that you in fact had after the divorce, correct?
Objection, leading.
Did you or did you not consult an ENT after the divorce?
I
Objection, leading.
Did you produce medical records to the defendants relating to this?
Objection, leading.
All right,
Calls.
I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you.
Leading.
And-
Next
and
question.
Your Honor.
Now, see, this is the
Witness
part
would be
that's
instructed not to answer until I've
All right.
lodged my objection.
Wait for the objection, please.
Could we bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1077? Do you recognize this document?
My screen is black. Oh, sorry.
Shout out to you,
Yes,
Miss
I do.
Creative.
And
Appreciate
could
you.
Tell us what it is.
That's the what my ENT, the ears, nose, and throat doctor, told me was
Objection, Your Honor.
the
Hearsay.
damage.
All right, when there's objection, please stop talking. Thank you. All right, I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay.
Okay.
oh, it's Johnny Depp's lawyers that are objecting. Okay.
She was the main one
What
crossing
if
earlier
any-
on this morning.
You were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true or false?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Your Honor,
and-
she absolutely
So
did that.
it's leading. It is leading question now. Sustain the objection as to leading.
What, if anything, did you do to produce medical records to the defendant, to the plaintiff in this case?
I turned over all of my devices, and they had the Johnny's team had a third party or someone they selected as a third party go and pull all relevant documents from those devices, which I handed over.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe, maybe.
Objection,
many
Your
more.
Honor. Lack of foundation.
All right.
Ah,
I'll
she
sustain the
on
objection.
it.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
And do you?
That's what y'all
what,
need,
if
fellas.
anything,
Women.
Did you produce to the
Women as your
plaintiff
lawyers.
in connection with your consultation with an ENT specialist relating to your nose?
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
What, I said, what if
Foundation,
anything?
hearsay.
What if anything?
Mm.
It's not the cure-all. It's sustain.
But she keeps trying to get it in, though. She keep trying to get her little statements in.
The ENT specialist.
2017 or 2016 or 17.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Raw.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection.
Mm. Why Amber Lawyer looks so bad?
What, if any, production did you make
That's a full
to the
house in there.
plaintiffs
Mhm.
of your medical records with the ENT?
Objection, Your
Give it.
Honor, lack of foundation.
Mm.
If you want to lay a foundation.
Do you know whether the records, medical records from your EMT were produced in discovery in this
Objection,
case?
Your Honor, lack of foundation calls for speculation.
I'm just
Mm.
I'm asking.
Overruled if she knows.
Thank you.
Yes.
And do you recall?
Think hard.
I'm trying. What, if anything, did the medical records reflect about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Damn. Got him.
Do you have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury.
I have
I'm going to
a bunch of
object
scar
to the,
tissue.
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation
Overruled.
and improper expert opinion.
Mm.
You testified to.
We'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a significant amount of scar tissue in my nose.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, difficulty do you have breathing?
Objection, leading.
What, if anything? And that does cure it.
I want her.
I'll overrule the objection.
Thank you. You remember the
I
question?
have a significant amount of trouble breathing at night, and I've been putting off having surgery for it.
Sit down.
I know she mad.
Now, you were
Mhm.
asked about December 15, 2015, and Ms. Vasquez suggested that you did not report the abuse or the injuries to Aaron Falati. Do you recall that
Objection, Your
question?
honor, leading.
Your Honor, I'm entitled to go into what Ms. Vasquez asked.
The objection is leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm leading that y'all hit those likes. I appreciate
Did
you.
you report, what, if anything, did you?
And share it
report to
out.
Aaron Falati
That too.
about the abuse you sustained on 12/15/2015?
Objection, leading and
We're-
hearsay.
Damn, Camille was ready.
I'm look-
Mhm.
I'm looking at the crowd in the back because this lady up there cracking up.
Let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Camille Velasquez has gotten the stamp of approval from Kathleen Zellner. And if you guys don't know who Kathleen Zellner is one of the top litigators in like cases overturning decisions made by courts. Like she takes cases to the Supreme Court, and she's been watching. Johnny Depp's team gets an A1 from her.
I'm loving this. I'm so loving this. She's got a little
Yeah.
power suit on.
Mhm. Dressed in all white. She feeling godly today, and she listening.
I'll tell you. Those are dangerous people.
Mhm. Listen, she whatever the rest of the team talk about, they know better to talk to her because she like, what?
Exactly. Exactly. That's the type of woman you marry. You might just go ahead and give her all your social media accounts and your phone.
Right. Amber's pissed too. And I think it was really good of Johnny Depp's team to let a lady cross-examine her. Because if they would have let the dude do it, it would have seemed like badgering and all this other nonsense. So they're
Yeah.
really smart.
Oh.
Why Amber Heard? Go ahead.
I was going
Why
to say,
Am-
only a woman know a real woman.
Right. And why Amber Heard attorney look all old and dowdy? She look like she need a nap.
That's all she can afford, Rob. That's all she can afford. She's been
Yep.
paying Peter to pay Paul.
But image matters. Now, this is a Hollywood high profile case.
Thank you.
Her lawyer should even, like, there's nothing wrong with being an older woman in the courtroom, but what is that? Is that Urban Outfitters? Is that Anne Klein?
You know what? I'm still waiting on. I don't recall if they actually showed because the pictures they showed for her last time. I'm still waiting for that to bring those up because she mentioned some other stuff of injuries to the arm she took a picture of. Then I don't think they crossed her on that yet. Like all these little random pictures she showed like a couple of days ago were just like let's talk about that.
Right. It's I'm not going to say it's nothing because domestic violence on either party is extremely serious. But Johnny Depp has experienced some real critical injury from this woman.
Exactly.
Fingertips severed off. So
Black eyes.
right. It's not equal force. I've not seen anything on her person ever that showed she received that type of damage. And from like the clips that we saw from the phones, like the little videos even she sustained, it really did show her as the antagonizer and the aggressor.
Which she denied.
Right. And she even lied pooping on the bed when.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did feces get there?
It was the dogs.
That's what she said? Yo, you can't make this up. You can't make this up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. Ooh.
Can't make this up.
Amber's crazy. And the fact that she's trying to downplay her looks in this case speaks volumes too. Because honestly, I didn't know who Amber Heard was. When they said Aquaman, I said, no, that's not the girl from Aquaman was pretty.
Young, vibrant thing.
Right. Who's just watched that school mom? Oh, trying it. It's bad when you young. What is she, like 30 something? Johnny Depp is almost 60. Johnny Depp is the man.
Johnny looked good for his age. No homo. I was proud of him when he was doing the continuation of the Hogwarts movie.
The Extraordinary Beast, right?
Big fan.
The fact that he's been doing Jack Sparrow in his 50s.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, Pirates of the Caribbean 6. I was super pissed at Amber Heard when I heard she's the reason why we don't get to see Jack Sparrow. Amber Heard, you made an enemy for life.
Yeah. He said if Disney, they was asked on the last case if they offered him $300 million to come back, what he did, he said nope. Nope.
I don't blame him.
That was so bad.
Yeah, it does.
And that's literally one of the movies that he loved. Like that's the main iconic. Like he played a lot of roles, but he literally loved that character.
Right. And how much money did he make off Jack Sparrow? When I heard they offered him $22 million.
That's not enough.
But that's the offer that they had before the whole thing with Amber Heard and the back end deal and the merch and showing up at different events. Like that's money.
Did you tell Nurse Filati on 12/16/2015 about the injuries you sustained from the 12/15/2015 attack?
I did. I believe I sent her pictures too.
Okay. And did you text with Nurse Filati on 12/16/2015 about the injuries that you had suffered as a result of Mr. Depp's attack on you on 12/15?
Yes, she guided me through a concussion check.
And did you tell Connell Cowan about the injuries you sustained?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
It's prior.
Think y'all figured all this shit out earlier, just a minute
I'll
ago?
sustain the objection at this point. Next question.
Do you recall Dr. Laurel Anderson testifying that she saw two black eyes
Objection,
on
Your Honor.
12/17?
Leading.
Sustain as to leading.
What, if anything, do you recall from Laurel Anderson's testimony in this case about what she observed on 12/17/2015?
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside the scope of cross-examination.
It's prior consistent
I'm going to
statements.
sustain the
It's
objection.
observations for
I'm
the
gonna
12/17, the same day.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
May I approach?
Okay.
Here we go. Was it round 2?
And see, this is where Amber Heard's team is messing up. Whenever Johnny Depp was testifying, as soon as he breathed, they kept saying objection, hearsay, objection, hearsay. So they established the pattern. And now they're pissing the judge off. Never piss off the judge. You can piss off a lot of people in the courtroom, not the judge.
That is so true. Until that judge get that final say, hit that gamblet, by the time you get that door, get your middle finger up and run. Run.
Even then, you might want to wait till you're in the car by yourself and nobody can see you. Judge hold you in contempt after the fact and now paying me a whole bunch of money.
Hey, you know what? You ain't lying.
When in December did you see Dr. Laurel Anderson?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Overruled.
I saw her 2 days after the attack.
So on what day did you see her then?
That would have been the 17th of December, 2016. And I told her what happened.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
No, sustain the objection.
And when did you see Dr. Connell Cowan?
I saw him the next day, December 16th is my best recollection.
Let's jump to East Asia for a moment. And we saw a number of pictures from the backless dress. What, if any, motivation would you have to claim that Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back, knowing you had a backless dress?
Objection, Your Honor.
I think I
Leading
can bring
calls for
that out, yes.
speculation.
It's still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
She's
Why-
like crazy bitch.
Why did you say that Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back in East Asia?
In the closet of the hotel room in Tokyo, I said that because it happened to me. And it would have been much more convenient if I was making it up to not include that detail, knowing I had a backless dress and I walked a press line and got photographed.
Now, we've heard testimony about Mr. Depp making a total of $65 million in 2015 and 2016 from his experts.
Objection, Your Honor.
Why did
Leading.
I haven't asked the question yet.
Hearsay. I mean,
Why did you not ask for 32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Your Honor. Leading.
I said, why did you not ask?
Irrelevant.
I'll
The
sustain the
explanation.
objection. Sustain the objection to leading. Next question.
Why, can I just ask, why did you not ask for 32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Because I didn't want
Asked
it.
and answered. Relevance.
Oh, overruled. Good.
That poor jury.
Because I didn't want it. I realized that that's what I was entitled to, but I didn't want it. That simple.
The tape recording that was played that has you laughing quite a bit, can you tell the jury what the context of that particular tape recording was?
I don't really recall a whole lot about what was going on. I know we had been fighting kind of ad nauseum and in this sort of loop, if you will. And I'm doing my best to not show my pain. That's what I was trying to do. Is trying to be tough, not show what kind of pain I was in.
By laughing like the Joker.
Now, Ms. Vasquez asked you about how you got your role in Aquaman. Could you please describe to the jury how you got your role in
Yes,
Aquaman?
I auditioned, not Johnny. I auditioned. I worked really hard, and I went to where we were filming the first movie, Justice League. I went, I think, 5.5 months early before filming commenced, when I heard that they wanted to fire me, and so I put myself in the job in the
Objection,
gym.
Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustain.
Keep it away.
worked
What,
really
what they
hard.
said.
I worked really hard on that and had to prove myself, and I did that for, even though I was only filming for 6 days, I was there for 6 months. Just worked my butt off.
What
That's
if
why.
What, if any, role did Mr. Depp play in your getting Aquaman?
He tried to have me fired from it.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
All right, I'll sustain his speculation.
How do you know that he tried to have you fired?
Objection,
from?
Your Honor. Calls for speculation. and
Exactly.
hearsay And lack of
That's the
foundation.
I'm trying to lay a
All
foundation.
right, if you lay foundation.
I saw it. I saw the emails. I saw the texts.
I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay. Next question.
Mm.
You were asked about Isaac Baruch and why and that he saw no marks. What is your recollection of your interaction with Isaac Baruch during the week of May 22nd?
I saw Isaac when I was coming or going, meaning I was leaving or arriving to the building. I saw him at a distance. We did not have a in-depth conversation, nor would we. And I told him actually right after it happened what his friend had done.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I don't think it's offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay. Stay away from what was said. Can you just tell us what interaction you had with him and his opportunity to observe you with absolutely no makeup?
Objection,
That's
Your Honor,
impossible.
leading.
I'll sustain the objection. It's leading.
He's trying not to laugh.
Please describe for the jury your interaction with Isaac Baruch during the week of May 22nd.
Well, not only did I have makeup on, but I did attempt to kind of let him know what happened.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain
She
the
tried to
objection. Next
attempt to
question.
let who know what happened.
You were asked some questions about Officer Melissa Science's testimony. What, if anything, do you recall relating to Officer Melissa Science's testimony relating to your injuries?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Your Honor said I could redirect after the
Oh.
cross-examination when she.
Spicy. Ooh.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button.
It's going down.
Yo.
Everybody was like, excuse me.
They about to have their own separate case.
And you said I could ask that question. Well, she said she sat there and thought about how to stop you if she wanted. Oh, yeah, let me sit down for a minute. Objection, bleeding.
This is crazy.
Look at that judge. She's like, if you ever talk to me like that in front of my courtroom again.
I will slap the liver out of you.
To get it together. And we over here that I told you, don't ask her certain things. You know, just let it go object. I'm going to have to sustain it.
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude.
Deadpool. It's the emotional damage for me.
It's coming.
What, if anything, do you recall of Officer Science's testimony in this case relating to your injuries and the property destruction?
I recall her saying that she didn't feel that the state I was in was enough of an injury to her, or wasn't injury seeming to her.
Okay. And what about the property damage?
She claims she did not see any property damage, but I walked with her over broken glass. So I don't know why she's saying that.
Sure, Amber. Sure you did.
I've seen water
What, if
bottles.
any, interactions did you have with Alejandro Romero during the week of May 22?
I spoke to him briefly.
Objection, Your Honor, to the extent it calls for hearsay.
Overruled at this point. You spoke to him.
I spoke to him briefly in passing as I was entering, and maybe when I was exiting the building, but always when I was on my way out or in from being outside, meaning makeup. I had makeup on always, as I do.
Why did James Franco visit you on the evening of 5/22/2016?
Objection calls for speculation.
Do you know?
Yes,
Please tell us.
because he was my friend and he lived next door, quite literally lived next door. And I had frankly exhausted my support network with my usual friends and was happy to welcome as much friendship at that time as I could possibly get.
Now, the video showed him laying his head on your shoulder. Can you describe for the jury what the interaction was, without saying what was said, what the interaction was that led to that?
He, after seeing my face, put his
Objection, Your
head on
Honor,
my
calls for
shoulder.
speculation.
That doesn't call for speculation. If she sees that he sees her.
He touched the side of my
I'll
face
sustain the
too.
objection.
And
Okay.
again, Your Honor, if we can instruct the witness
If
to.
you could wait till after the objection, please. All right, next
What,
question.
what did Mr. Franco do on the elevator before laying his head on your shoulder?
He kind of touched the side of my face and responded to what he saw.
We talked about you were shown a bunch of newspaper headlines, and there was one in particular referring to sexual violence. What, if anything, did Mr. Waldman do to you relating to that article?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
What did he do to her?
Unintelligible. I don't understand the
Well,
question.
Overruled, we'll see where it goes.
He was carrying the paper that had that headline on it that he leaked and threw it at me at the UK trial. We were unfortunately sat kind of, actually literally next to one another with COVID spacing in between us. And he threw the paper down at me as he sat down with that on the cover.
And where was that?
In the UK, at the UK trial.
Objection, Your Honor. This is beyond the scope.
That's not beyond the
No,
scope.
overruled.
Thank you. Why did you tweet about the makeup and Mr. Waldman?
Because he was calling me a liar and a hoaxer and that this was an elaborate hoax just to get Johnny.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question. Next question.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go. Wrap this up, B.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
All
You know
right,
what?
all right. Ma'am, you can have a seat next to your attorney, okay?
Sentence you. I'd like to say a few words about your arrest record.
You can go.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our afternoon recess then for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research, okay?
Well, at least she's not rubbing her nose no more.
She's pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Let's stay in her feelings. That's what I want her. I want her in her feelings. I want the lawyer in her feelings.
Look at Johnny Depp.
Hey.
He is hamming it up. When I tell you,
Deposition. Deposition. All right, so we'll get the TV set up for that and let's just come back then at 3:30, okay? All right, thank you.
All right, 15 minutes. So let's say 14, because last time they came out really early. They said an hour.
mhm.
So that's good. That's good news. So what's your thoughts so far, lady?
This is a tough case, but not really. Like, it's tough just because of how people view domestic violence in the United States of America.
Mhm.
But what we've seen from the foundation that Johnny laid down and Amber's inability to really kind of sway the opinion of anybody, it doesn't look good for her. And honestly, I think it's about time that a case like this existed. Thank you for being a man to speak about this, because I don't
Yeah.
think enough men are speaking about Johnny Depp's plight. A lot of men are abused physically. It's not just verbal abuse and a woman having an attitude and talking a whole bunch of mess. Women are doing real damage to men. and getting away with it, saying, no, I didn't do anything. He did it to me. And it's not okay either way the pendulum swings. Like,
Yep. And then
justice for Johnny.
Yep. Well, because I know other streams, we've been on, but I'm thinking at the same time where I pretty much spoke the same thing, not in depth, where it could go two ways, and most women try to justify it like, oh, I didn't put my hand on him, but there's emotional abuse, there's mental abuse, there's some things that you could say that would have a guy, just keep overthinking it or just kind of just dumbing it down, just like, oh well, you know what, she's right, maybe it is this, maybe it is that, and then next thing I'll just continue on their day, and then it'll happen again and it'll happen again. And then you have some women that have so much their own insecurities and not even realizing it, and they'll just burst with all these emotions, and a guy like, where did this come from? What I do? So I don't know, this is crazy. Shout out to you, CGOJ.
Yes. Hey, everybody coming into the stream. I mean, it's the quintessential conversation, the lack of communication between the sexes. But in this instance, this is an extreme example. Like, this woman is sick.
Yep.
The things she's done to him, it far supersede the average run-of-the-mill faux pas that happen in relationships. She literally took a dump and put it on his side of the bed. She literally threw a bottle of vodka at him and severed his fingertip. She's done so much. Like, even that one video when he was like upset and maybe he was having a little bit of mania and he was like in the kitchen banging the pots and the pans, and she's like recording with her phone, but she's trying to act like she's not, and antagonizing him to the point by like taking his wine or whatever. I think a lot of women play a dangerous game. If you don't have them hands, you might want to sit down.
That part.
Because Johnny Depp could have really, like, let's not act like clearly this is a man that has some athletic prowess. He's almost 60, but he's able to do flips and spins and jumping around. We've seen it as recent as Jack Sparrow and, you know what I'm saying, Pirates of the Caribbean. So if he wanted to, I'm sure he really could have done real physical damage to her. I think a lot of women they're not really understanding. A lot of men are not with the nonsense. You put your hands on them, they might, delete you. Stop.
You're right. I remember, and it wasn't even physical. I remember one woman in particular, like just in rage mode, and like it just in my own home. I feel uncomfortable when somebody raised their voice louder than my TV or my music playing. It's like you got to go, and that makes me so nervous to the point where my instinct is to I'd rather leave my own house, and while I'm doing so, I'm on my phone, just ready for 911 or ready for something or ready for a record button. You know what I'm saying? And for the I don't know, ladies, but this is a prime example, ladies. If you have these kind of triggering factors and you're not aware of it, watch yourselves. Watch yourselves.
Right. And I mean, even with the yelling and stuff, I agree. Sometimes conversations get a little bit hostile, but a lady should always know when to leave.
Yeah.
When the conversation is getting escalated, walk away. But I will say this in all honesty, there are some people, male and female, that when the other walks away, they don't know how to just let them walk away and give them that space. They will follow with the aggression, and then that's a whole nother topic. But it seems like that's a lot of what was going on in between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, it was just a never-ending cycle. And I'm sorry, I have to trust in God that if I have that much money and somebody's getting on my nerve, I'm just going to have a panic room. I'm just going to go in the panic room. You know what?
I never thought about that. That's a good one too. But maybe maybe Will Smith has a panic room, or maybe he's building one now. We don't know because he took a break from her, so maybe he's getting one ready in that whole multi-acre land they got.
Will Smith needs to go on ahead and divorce Jada and go on ahead and be a great man to somebody that's gonna love him, because
Yeah.
she's still hung up on Tupac.
Yeah. I don't see much more he can offer right now because let's say if the relationship don't work out, far as except for just love and somebody respecting him and he can actually feel that genuine desire that he's looking for. You know what I'm saying? Just he can't. He has nothing else besides that to offer anyone because he got kids from first and second wife. So I don't know. Me and Will Smith age, I just like, yo, you know what? Let me just travel the world. If a beautiful woman come my way, we enjoy the moment and just keep pushing. If she's still consistently showing me that affection that I like, then I'm gonna continue with her. If not, let me go. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but I'm gonna put my prayers on him and hope that he doesn't do anything ridiculous to himself because that's what it seems like. He won't. It's like she'll say something. It's like a kind of shield. He just keep backing up away from her, or getting his emotions or something. So I don't know. They say that battery is back.
Right. I think he completely planned that whole Chris Rock event. I think he was just looking for an opening, anything to cause
Show
a huge spectacle
to
so
show
he
his
could just
manhood.
not even show his manhood, to show a huge spectacle so there would be a disruption in his money so he could get away from Jada. I think her being with him this whole entire time has been a money grab. Like, oh, did you ever see that clip where they showed that she was filming, I think, for Instagram, and they were in the house?
Oh
And she just popped up with a camera on him, and he's like, "You need to ask me to film me in my own house." Like,
Johnny Depp did the same thing because when he was aware that she's recording, he said you got to ask for permission. So he did the same
right.
thing. Oh, and I will say this to CJJ. Shout out to her. She says had multiple houses to escape. Yes, but he didn't have a panic room. If you have a panic room, you are safe, 100% safe from hands, knives, guns, grenades, and with a panic room, you have an exit strategy. All right. So that means if let's just say that person actually get a locksmith, a master cracker, and I could go up my exit room and dart off somewhere with the escape vehicle, passport, cash in hand. You're not gonna get to me. You're not gonna get to me.
That part. And let us not forget that when she went and initiated a restraining order, she also went to his friends and initiated several meetups with him. See, that's going to play really bad against her too. And I was listening to her testimony in the beginning, and she was talking about all these bad things that Johnny did to her when they were dating or that made her uncomfortable. And all I could keep saying in my head was, and you married him? And you married him. If I was on that jury, she'd be guilty.
I understand it's a hard profile case, but like for me, if it was the other way around, it'd have been done in less than a year, a month or two. The evidence there, let's go. Like, why are we dragging this out? But the fact it's a defamation case, like, okay.
This is the second one though.
Yeah, but he win the first?
I think it was just settled.
Yeah.
So it's not recorded as a win or a loss, but I think he just wants to clear his name everywhere. And you know what I say this about Amber, you know you a bad. Shut your mouth when you tear down somebody's name internationally.
True.
Like, dang.
True.
Dang.
True.
Now that's bitter.
Yeah.
I didn't want 32.5 million. Yeah, you did. Because when he put you on blast about not giving that money to those charities and he gave them in your name, you took him back to court and asked for 14.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Shout out to Creative. She says maybe he has too much invested to leave. I think they're marketing to stay popular. Are you referring to Jada and Will? Because I think that's where we're ending off at. If it's Jada and Will, I say yo to an extent, but remember, last time we discussed it live and everybody had their own little streams about it, and they kept referencing to Will Smith's book, and then his therapist and all this other conversations had. So he was more trying to, and this is my opinion of him, he was more so trying to stay close to, like his dad's. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, she said, Jada and Will. Yeah, he was trying to like be a better dad than his dad was, because his dad was the one that was leaving and separating himself from the relationship and all that good stuff. But I don't know. It's you can't put a price on your peace. You really can't put a price on your peace. Shout out to CJJ. She says the first case was against a newspaper, I think, not against Johnny Host. Yeah. And the one in the UK, that was like about 2 years ago, I believe, when that all came through.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I'm looking it up now.
Okay. I have to find this this content creator, because he was really big on the case. He actually had lawyers in on him with the whole conversation, with the whole article too. It was a really big thing. I didn't realize it got that crazy. I knew of the drama, but I didn't know it reached the UK. I didn't realize that he actually lost through it. And I said, okay, so what that mean for the States? I just knew about Disney just let him go, but just of the allegation, and that was it. And let's keep it 100. Yes, she may went to the audition. Yeah, she probably put some months into all that work, working to it. But at the end of the day, people know people. Again, shout out to Will and Jada. Your name goes far. Sometimes a phone call, a text. So she just can't sit there and just say it was all on me, because I really don't remember her at all. Like, I Googled her name. I don't remember nothing she had been on. The only big name thing was just this. All right, about the.
So this is from 2020, and this is detailing Johnny's case against the Sun. On November 2nd, 2020, London's High Court handed down its hotly anticipated judgment in the high-profile libel case brought by Hollywood actor Johnny Depp over a newspaper article which labeled him a wife beater. In his 585-paragraph ruling, the presiding judge, Mr. Justice Nicole, dismissed the actor's claim, holding in essence that the words used in the Sun's report were legally acceptable. Now, he brought action against the Sun's publisher and the newspaper's executive director, Dan Wooten, in respect of a 2018 article, which was first published online under the headline, Gone Potty, How Can J.K. Rowling Be Genuinely Happy Casting Wife Beater Johnny Depp in the new Fantastic Beasts film. Now, what it said about the judge's ruling is, and let me zoom this in for the viewing audience.
Appreciate you.
The judge also expressly acknowledged that Depp proved the necessary elements of his cause of action, that his reputation had been damaged. But under UK defamation law, if a defendant proves that the published words are substantially true, they will have a complete defense. They cannot be successfully sued, regardless of the gravity of the allegations. In this case, the judge found that the great majority of alleged incidents of violent physical assaults against his ex-wife were proven to be substantially true and dismissed Depp's claim. Which brings us to the trial against Amber Heard. And I honestly think if he wins this case against Amber Heard, he's going to go back and sue the Sun.
I hope so. Get it all. Get it all. And hit up Disney just on a low. Hit up Disney low. If anything, I mean, I don't know if he can, because Disney's got them hooks on everything. At least try to get the rights to just the character of Pirates of the Caribbean, because I mean, he plays it all the time on TikTok. Anybody follow him on TikTok? He'd be on there like 24/7, just dressed up like the character. Does this little. All right, we're back now.
You know that the tweet plaintiffs 3 is a retweet or a tweet that has the hyperlink of the online op-ed in it, and I know that a mere hyperlink without more cannot constitute republication. However, here, when there's additional content that could constitute republication in this matter, so there is evidence of ownership and additional content that the jury could find constitute republication, and that is a factual question that does survive a motion to strike. Therefore, the motion to strike is denied as to count one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, I love her attitude. She's not with it. And how stressful for a judge too. Like, a lot of people don't realize in these high profile cases, a judge now has to not only contend with what is going on in the courtroom, but the court of public opinion. And they're second guessing every single decision that they make because they know they're going to be highly scrutinized.
Mm-hmm.
She looks tired.
Yeah, you got this, lady. You got this. Only one life. Few more hours to go for you.
When she put them on pause for a week, I said, oh no. She said, I got to go to the beach.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. All right, your next witness.
Our next witness is Mr. Io Tillett Wright, and it starts with counsel for Mr. Depp asking questions, and then we'll switch over to me.
All right, thank you.
Right. Good morning again. Have you had any communications with Ms. Hurd at all, including text or emails or otherwise, in connection with your preparation for this deposition?
No.
Have you had any? When's the last time you spoke to her?
April of last year, April or May. Almost a year ago.
Mr. Wright, when did you first meet Ms. Hurd?
I met Amber in the end of 2011.
And where did you meet her?
In Los Angeles.
And what were the circumstances of the meeting?
A friend was introducing us to each other so that I could photograph her for a large portrait series that I was doing at the time.
And what was your profession in 2011?
I was a photographer and I worked for the New York Times, I think. I don't recall exactly everything, but.
In 2011, you were both a photographer and separately worked for the New York Times as a freelancer.
I worked for the New York Times as a journalist and photographer.
And what is your profession today?
I'm a writer and a producer.
You got to think about it.
And between 2011 and through the present, have you had any other professions other than photographer, writer, or producer?
Yes.
And what are those?
I've hosted a television show or two. I made some podcasts. I wrote two other books, three books. I've written 3 books. A number of things. I don't know. There are more things, but I've always been a multi-hyphenate person. To the best of my recollection, we initially met at a mutual friend's house, which I think I already stated. That friend is also an actor and had met Amber at the Children's Hospital while they were both volunteering, and knew that Amber had done quite a bit of LGBT activism, and mentioned my project to her, and then invited her over to the other friend invited Amber to her house so that we could all meet. And Amber and I discovered that we liked the same books and we liked psychology, and just, laughed and had fun that night. And then I asked her if she would participate in the photo project, I think, or somebody did. And she said yes. A couple of days later, I went to the house that she was staying at and I photographed her for the project. And then thereafter, I went back to New York where I lived. And I remember her texting me and saying that she was shooting a movie in New York and did I want to get lunch? So we got lunch and we became friends.
Okay, please walk me through that.
We met in 2011. We started becoming friends soon thereafter. Very early in 2013, I came to LA to spend a couple of months with my then, I don't know if she was my girlfriend or my fiance at that point, but the person that I was in a relationship with, in a very serious relationship with. And during the time that I was in LA, I spent more time with Amber. We both spent more time with Amber. And I was introduced to Johnny. And the summer of 2013, I ended up moving to LA, during which Amber and Johnny and I got even closer, very, very close. And then we remained close, the three of us, for 2-ish years. And then all of this happened, this nightmare, and Johnny and I stopped being friends, and Amber and I stayed friends. And then Amber and I were friends up until the date that I told you that we last spoke.
He was trying to get them buns.
Did you live on the same property as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
Yes.
And when was that?
It was August 2013 until I believe June 1st of 2014. I moved into my own house, so 9 months.
And
9 months rent free.
why is it that you left that property, left living there?
Because I didn't want to live for free in someone's property, and I wanted to have my own house.
How long you was living there, though?
And for how long after
9
that
months.
did you stay close with both Johnny and Amber?
I stayed close with both of them. I don't remember. It was sometime in 2015, I think, late 2015 maybe. Johnny and I were no longer. I think the period when I really stopped considering Johnny a friend of mine was December of 2015.
Okay, well, let me ask it this way. You never saw Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion, correct?
That's correct. I just would like to clarify, Mr. Preciado, that's a question you already asked me. So you're asking me the same question again about whether or not I witnessed Mr. Depp assault Ms. Heard?
That's right.
No, I have not witnessed that.
Let me ask it this way then. Have you ever personally seen Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion?
No.
Now, back to this same paragraph where it says, my experience of Johnny during the time that we were close, from 2013 through 2015, was that he could be incredibly kind, generous, and loyal. Can you give me examples of his kindness, generosity, and loyalty during that period of time?
Johnny, when sober, was lovely and magical and very funny. Johnny, when sober, was incredibly lucid and imaginative, and I felt a kindred connection with him and a shared perspective on the world that I've shared with very few people in my life. Johnny, when sober, understood how much influence he had over people, and he was very kind to them about it and generous with talking to them about whatever came up. And he was also, when sober, very he made time for people's nervousness around him, which I witnessed on a number of occasions. He also he had his number of houses on that street, and there was a constant rotation of different people coming to town who could all afford to live somewhere else or stay somewhere else, who he would let and enjoyed having in those houses, which I find to be generous.
In the next paragraph, paragraph 6, you refer to Mr. Depp's struggles with respect to OxyContin. You say that in late 2013, after dental surgery, he became hooked on OxyContin. Did you ever experience him while he was on OxyContin?
Yes.
And while he was on OxyContin, did you ever experience him to be mean or vicious?
I can't answer that with any accuracy because I don't know whether or not the times that I did see him be mean or vicious, he was also on OxyContin.
In paragraph 5, where you say that he could be incredibly mean and vicious, especially when he was drunk or high. When you refer to drunk or high, what substances are you referring to?
The substances that I saw him ingest with my own eyes were cocaine and hard liquor, marijuana, ecstasy, mushrooms, wine. Probably some other things. Those are the immediate ones that jump to mind. Cocaine and any kind of alcohol would bring out a very, very ugly side of him. Very misogynistic and cruel and other things. And when he would take any kind of psychedelic like ecstasy or MDMA, he would become paranoid. When he would drink alcohol, he would become paranoid. Yeah, I think that I answered your question.
Yeah, he was drinking and getting high with him too.
Yeah, let's keep it 100.
You mentioned that you witnessed him having had cocaine. Did you ever have cocaine with him?
What about the
Drugs
mushrooms?
or substances that you took with him?
I don't smoke marijuana. I don't do cocaine. For the entire period that I knew Johnny and thereafter, I did not drink alcohol. There was I think 1 week period during the peak of my breakup, during which Johnny offered me some pain pills to get through the intensity of that situation. And that was the only time that I took any substances for 3.5 years. No, that's not true. That was the only time that I took any substances with Johnny. And all that I had stated previously about what I do and don't do are also accurate.
So I'm sorry, just to summarize that, is your testimony that when you witnessed Mr. Depp drunk and high, you were not also either drunk or high? Is that your testimony?
My testimony is that during the entire period that I knew Mr. Depp, I was never drunk or drinking or consuming alcohol at all. My testimony is that for a 1, maybe 2.5 week, I don't remember, period, on a sporadic occasion, I took some pain pills that Mr. Depp offered me to get through an extreme emotional pain situation.
It's a contradicting testimony.
I witnessed Johnny doing cocaine. I was not drunk or high. Other occasions that I witnessed Johnny drinking, I was not drunk or high. There was a very narrow window during which I was taking some mind-altering pain pills for a very brief period, during which I witnessed Johnny drunk and high.
Did you ever witness Miss Amber Heard drunk or high?
Yes.
And did you ever witness her drink alcohol?
Yes.
Did you ever witness her ingesting cocaine?
Are you asking like ever in the history of time have I ever witnessed Amber ingest cocaine?
Ashton.
First question.
Ashton. His name is Ashton. OG. His name is
The answer is
Ashton.
no. Amber was vehemently against cocaine.
Did you ever witness
That
her
looked like it. Let me shut up.
smoke marijuana?
That's not what her nose looked like.
No. Marijuana is not her drug.
What is her drug?
I haven't spoken to Amber in a year, but as far as I know and have known her for the last 11 or 12 years, Amber doesn't have a narcotic of choice.
Have you seen her ingest ecstasy?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
How many times have you seen her ingest ecstasy?
I can think of one instance in particular when she took it for her birthday, like a celebration.
All right, keep 100. You're a friend.
Do you recall what year that was?
Common event.
Other than the narcotics and alcohol that I mentioned, did you ever witness Ms. Heard ingest any other drugs?
Are you asking me if other than, what did you ask me about? Cocaine, ecstasy, and mushrooms, I've witnessed Amber taking any other illegal narcotics? Or are you asking me about prescription medications? Can you clarify?
Narcotics other than prescription narcotics.
I don't know, but I don't actually think so, no. Amber drinks red wine when she's not training, or let me rephrase that. Amber, when I knew her, drank red wine in the evenings fairly regularly, with the exception of when she was training for an acting role.
Have you ever witnessed Miss Heard intoxicated?
Yes.
And how often would you estimate that you witnessed Miss Heard intoxicated?
I don't know how to quantify intoxicated. If you're asking me how often I witnessed her drunk, is that your question?
Yes.
Amber's strangely immune to getting drunk unless she's really drunk a lot. So I didn't see her drunk very often. I saw her drinking often, but I didn't see her out of her faculties very often. Like, you know, I saw that a handful of times in the 11 years that I knew her.
First, pause this real quick, right?
How would you describe how alcohol?
Go ahead.
I have to go, but I'm going to come back. I have to run and gather the little minions. But let's be very clear. They say red wine, like red wine is somebody's juice. I don't know about y'all. Maybe I'm a lightweight. 1 cup of red wine will have me done. I'm lit. Like, I don't play with nobody's red wine.
And it's not sweet red wine. It's that bitter red wine.
Yeah, like that Merlot, a good Cabernet Sauvignon. That is gonna put you on your grassy Ola, and that's a thin lady too. Look, I'm thick. I'm telling you, I'm thick, y'all. 1 glass is, woo. If you drinking, the wine bill was $10,000 a month. Don't miss that. But I will be back as soon as I gather the little people.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Answer a question real quick. CJ said something. She said she was referring to Papi Blanco, but she says I think some people will believe her. I do too, because there's actually a YouTube, TikTok woman that's actually giving her version what she feel about why she think Amber Turd, hashtag Amber Turd, everybody. that she believes Amber Turd is innocent and all that good stuff. And the next question you asked about who's the man, he said he's a producer and writer, and I guess he was kind of like working with her, and they had like a kind of like a meetup and conversation, and they've been friends from there. And then somehow, as they're being friends, she allowed him to live in a certain part of property of theirs next door because they was married at the time. So what's is hers is his is hers. Yeah, that part. But he was there for 8 or 9 months. So according to him, the reason why he moved after 8 or 9 months that he didn't want to live rent free off of nobody. But you was there for 8, 9 months. So I don't know what you could and could not find as a writer or producer within 8, 9 months. But he was there living rent free for 8, 9 months. And then Chris said, "Is it the nose ring or men?" I don't know. I mean, you have to ask them. But I know back in the day, it used to be a star or something on most women's shoulders or leg or somewhere. It's like just a star or 3 stars that's supposed to signify something of their sexuality. And I'm just guessing, so I don't want to put nobody in that bubble. But just like Ashton, the nose ring for me, for a straight man, that looks sus. But again, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with my opinion.
All affects Ms. Heard's personality based on your experience?
You know, it depends on the circumstance. If it was during a moment when she was celebrating, it would make her loose. Like if we were salsa dancing, then, you know, she would have fun and be fun and at a party and, you know, inebriated and dancing and having fun. If she was in a stressful,
I kind of have to disagree with that one, Ms. Creative, because you know there's people are lightweights. You know, whether you're a skinny girl, because even a body weight, if you're smaller and you take what's like red wines between 12% or 14%, and just one about a good 4 to 5 glasses is almost, depending on the size of glasses, but a regular size wine glass, a good four-ish or 5 glasses from a red wine bottle, from any wine bottle, that's pretty much you're done. So if you had 2, that's that's about a little bit past a quarter of a half. And for me, everybody prefer their wine room temperature. You will feel a little bit tipsy after 2 glasses. Again, depending on your body size. So if she's a small girl and a thick woman just told you, hey, it pretty much knock on her feet. Yeah, there you go. I mean, personally, I'm a lightweight. I'm just go ahead and admit it now. I am a lightweight. So that's you can't compare alcoholic beverage to orange juice. You can't compare alcoholic beverage to a cup of water. It doesn't work that way. Especially then you can't compare H2O to orange juice. You just really can't. Because most people can actually from diabetics can't drink orange juice, period.
Situation, I think it would just kind of exacerbate whatever the feeling of the moment was.
I'm going to ask you to state your name for the record. Nobody has yet. This is me.
All right, go ahead.
Let's bring up Depp exhibit number 1 again, please. Mr. Tillett-Wright, you were asked some questions by Mr. Presidio. And I'm going to take you back up to the first page where you were asked some questions. And he started out with, I'm just going to draw your attention to paragraph 4. And you indicated you met Johnny Depp through Amber. And you hit it off immediately. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then you explained to Mr. Presidio that you considered Johnny to be a close friend and you cared very much about Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
He became a close friend and I did care very much about him. I still care very much about him.
All right. Could you please describe that relationship that you had with Mr. Depp up until I think you said December of 2015?
Sure. Okay, Mr. Depp and I first met. Amber invited me over to his house with my then partner, girlfriend. I don't know if she was my fiance yet or not. In I think February of 2013, right at the beginning of 2013. And we all hung out, the four of us hung out in his house, in his living room, and just kind of talked and got to know each other. And it was sweet. I was mostly hanging out with Amber and kind of meeting this person. It was a trip to meet someone like that, you know, and see his house. And he was very friendly and very welcoming and very kind. And then the next time we saw each other was at, Amber and I both like to do what we call family dinners. So we invite people over and cook for them and have a dinner party. And Amber did an elaborate family dinner at her house, and Johnny and I and my ex and Amber, and I believe Whitney were there. I don't know if anyone else was there. I'm sure other people were there. I don't remember. And Johnny and I really connected at that dinner. We were sitting either opposite each other or just catty corner from each other. And I left feeling a very intense connection to him. And I was like, well, yeah, sure. Everybody probably feels an intense connection to him because of who he is. I'll forget it. It's ridiculous. And then a couple of days later, Amber had another dinner, such a dinner at her house. And Johnny and I had another really good time and felt very connected and really laughed a lot and whatever. And at the end of the dinner, as I was standing to leave with my ex, Johnny came up to me and said, I don't really know how to say this because it doesn't happen to me very often, but I think I love you. And I felt strange because I felt the same way. And I said, that's funny because I had that same experience after the last dinner party too. And then we joked about how crazy and ridiculous that felt. And we exchanged phone numbers, and then he texted me wanting to talk about Amber a couple of times, and I felt that it was like kind of violating her privacy. So I said that I was happy to be friendly with him and happy to, I don't remember exactly what I said, but something to the effect of like, you know, I'm happy to give advice or to help you guys stay in concert with each other, but I don't want to violate anybody's privacy with the other one. And I think he really respected that and really liked that because he also values his privacy greatly. And then, yeah, I was in LA for a couple more months, and I don't know, I think maybe we hung out more during that period. I'm not sure. I don't remember if they came to New York during the next stretch of time or what happened, but basically by the summer, I came back to LA to write and had a very bad breakup with that fiance and was going through some things personally that Johnny, you know, he was like, I recognize what's happening for you. It was like particularly bad anxiety related, trauma related things. And I didn't expect him to offer me any support around that stuff, but he just was like, wait, I see what you're going through. You know, this is my experience of it. I have the same thing, and let's talk about it. And like, if you need anything, I'm here. And I was like, thank you so much. You know, I didn't really expect that. And I went back to New York to be with my family for a couple of days or maybe a week or something. And it was very painful to be there. And he had said, if it's painful to be there, you know, just let me know and come back and stay here. And so I did. and I came back, and I originally was going to stay at Amber's house because she kept her apartment for a number of years while they were together, even though she stayed at his house a lot, that she paid for, etc. And she was, you know, the person that I'd known longer, so I felt more comfortable being at her house. And then the consensus was that I should be closer to them. And so they said, oh, there's this house that's just sitting empty at the end of the street. Just stay there. And I was very hesitant because I didn't want to take advantage of him. And he was insistent, and he was very kind about it. And he said that he understood fully what having PTSD and anxiety could do, and that he wanted to help. So I went and I stayed there. And then that was, I'm guessing, in August of 2013. And then in September, I think, Amber went to England to shoot a movie.
I agree.
So I was there, and Johnny and I would hang out on our own. And Johnny doesn't have a ton of friends because he can't. And
he can't. How you know?
I would go up and hang out with him. You know, we really enjoyed each other. We really liked each other. And so we would just hang out, you know, on a daily basis, eat dinner or watch movies, and I'd hang out with his kids, and got, you know, very into a very sweet uncle niece nephew relationship with his kids, and they called me Uncle Io. And
Mr. Tiller-Wright, did you ever call Mr. Depp brother, or your brother, refer to him as your brother?
Yes, I did.
Now, I'm going to take you to paragraph 5 of Depp Exhibit number 1. And Mr. Presidio asked you about this paragraph as well. And at the end of it, you had said, and he could be incredibly mean and vicious, especially when he was drunk or high. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that was on a number of occasions, I saw, you know, Amber or he, I think, also would ask me to come and help. He and I had more of a mano a mano kind of relationship, and she and I had I was kind of like the only person that would check either of them for a while. And so they would both ask me to do that with each other. So I saw him, for example, I remember there was a time when it was very late at night. I was down the hill. So I went up the hill, and he was outside by the pool with a glass of what I understood to be whiskey, and she was inside crying.
How you know all this?
In the kitchen, I think. And then I went outside and talked to him for a long time. Situations like that, or and he would say things. He said something to me that night that I thought, that night by the pool, where I thought, Jesus Christ, you know, things like, she's gonna, you know, all she's got is her looks, and, you know, she has no talent, and when her tits start to sag, and her face gets wrinkly, nobody's gonna be interested in her for anything, and she, you know, better figure out another way to survive and shit like that. Sorry, pardon me, things like that. And I also witnessed him when Amber was in England. Marilyn Manson and Paul Bettany came over at one point, and there was,
I agree, OG,
a great deal of cocaine and alcohol involved that I witnessed them doing together. I don't specifically recall if Mr. Bettany did or did not partake in the cocaine, or really much of anything except things that he said and his personality. But Mr. Manson and Mr. Depp partook in a lot of cocaine.
What, if anything, did Mr. Depp tell you about his struggles with drugs and alcohol?
And we sat on the couch and he told me a number of things. He told me about his childhood. He told me about growing up in Kentucky. He told me about growing up very poor and how his mom was verbally and physically abusive. He told me that when he was very, very young, like 13 or something, he started drinking and taking drugs, I think, or at least drinking quite heavily. He was even kind of like, yeah, it's crazy, I know, but I've been doing it my whole life and built like a tank. And so that was kind of the nature of the conversation. And he told me that he had struggled with ever not drinking or ever not doing drugs. And he also told me that he didn't particularly enjoy being sober, but that, you know, people around him were very concerned. He was very, very concerned with his children, and he would express shame or regret about times that he had been inebriated to the point of falling down or embarrassing himself, you know, urinating on himself, things like that, when his children were around, and that he was very grateful to the people who had kind of shielded them and whisked them away. And he told me that in his relationships with previous women, his drug and alcohol use had been an issue, but that he just didn't really like life sober, and that it was too painful to be alive without imbibing or getting high. And he also told me that he had experienced great bouts of jealousy in relationships that had also led to a lot of drinking and a lot of rage activities. He told me that happened with Winona. He told me that happened with Winona Ryder and Kate Moss. He told me that had happened with Vanessa Paradis.
Mr. Tillett-Wright, what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp abusing OxyContin?
Over the course of those 2 years, Mr. Depp told me verbatim that he was addicted to OxyContin. And I have a text message from him where he expresses that it's extraordinarily hard to kick, and that it, I don't remember exactly the words that he uses, but he referred to it to me verbally many times as like the hardest thing that he's ever tried to kick, which he's tried to kick most things. He said it was harder than heroin. So he was very open and verbose about OxyContin, having gotten addicted to OxyContin.
So what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp smoking cigarettes and joints, marijuana?
Mr. Depp, as far as I could see, always had a cigarette or joint in his mouth at all times, to the point where I was confused about how he could function. He also showed me his marijuana closet that had, I don't know, tens and tens of pounds of weed in it.
I'm not seeing a complaint.
What, if any, observations did you make while you were staying at Sweetser? I think you said that was August 2013 through May of 2014, with respect to the type of alcohol and the amount of alcohol that Mr. Depp was consuming.
When I saw Mr. Depp drink, it was often hard liquor. I believe it was whiskey and gin and tequila, maybe. Could also be vodka. I don't know. He had a full bar in 80, the house that with his recording studio in it, that they mostly stayed in. So I know whiskey for sure. And there was also red wine, a lot of red wine.
And when you talk about the whiskey and the red wine, how much did you observe Mr. Depp consume on any given occasion of those?
I don't know. The one occasion I know specifically was the one that I mentioned before during the argument where he suddenly had a glass of whiskey. And I remember it being like, I remember clocking, because I grew up counting people's drinks, I remember clocking that it was a very large pour in the glass of whiskey.
If you recall those, I think my question was, you know, what, if any, observations did you make, or did Mr. Depp ever tell you about him blacking out?
Mr. Depp was very open with everyone that he was a heavy user. And he told me about, I know there was one instance where he had this very large house property. So if Sweetser Avenue goes like this, the house that I was staying at, 76, is down here, then there's 78, which is right here, and then up here is 80, and then across the street, I guess, is 82. And 82 is a very large compound. So he and I were staying, I was at 76 or up at 80, and then 82 they lived in for a brief period of time. And he told me about like vanishing into 82, into the like the property, into the like, because it was very lush and very a lot of trees, and went up quite far up the hill. And he told me about kind of like blacking out and going in there. On one instance, he told me, I know that he told me that in Australia, he had blacked out, but he also told me that he fucked up. So I don't know. In terms of specific blackouts, there were a number. I think he said on the plane, he said that he didn't remember what had happened.
What, if anything, did Mr. Depp say to you about whether he wanted to become sober and clean?
Mr. Depp
what they're smiling about
expressed to me that he wanted to get sober for Amber, that he didn't enjoy being sober, that it wasn't fun, and that it was distressing and exhausting, and very hard to do. He really resented having to be sober. Yeah, he didn't want to be.
And what, if anything, did Mr. Depp say to you about his perception of Amber's role in him becoming sober and clean?
He expressed a number of times that he felt like she was his leash and she was holding him back from doing what he wanted to do in terms of substances and alcohol. I just want to go back to another incident that I remember he told me he blacked out was on the island. He went to the Bahamas. There were two different instances. One was, I guess, like they had only recently met, and he told me that he passed out face down in the sand while his kids were there, and that the staff had like whisked his kids away so that they didn't see it.
Mr. Tilleray, when you said that Mr. Depp used the term monster, what do you recall him saying about that?
And the language that ended up being kind of settled on was that there was a side of him that was the monster, and that it was not who he was, but it was something that lived within him that he had to battle. And the language that he always used was that of battle and battling the demon, battling the monster. So that the monster, he would say things like, the monster will not win. I will not be that type of man. I don't want to be that type of man or husband. I don't want to hurt He would call her Slim, our Slim, our girl, referring to all of her friends and him and her and I. Yeah.
What, if any, observations did you make of Mr. Depp, both in terms of physical as well as temperament, when you perceived him as having too much to drink?
Mr. Depp would drink and or take drugs. He would get very mean, very surly, very paranoid, extremely paranoid. He would weave these elaborate situations in which Amber was having affairs with every man that she ever worked with and every
I
woman
agree,
she
Robbie.
came
I
in
agree.
contact with. He became very demeaning. Johnny is incredibly intelligent, incredibly smart and witty, and he would point his jokes at people, Amber's appearance, her talent, her lack of talent as he perceived it, why he thought that she was actually famous, which he always implied was just because of her looks. And because he thought that everyone wanted to have sex with her. And he would insult his fans. He called them, I remember he called them remoras, which is a type of sucker fish that attaches itself to the hull of a ship and puts a hole in it and then sinks it. He would rail against his mother and his sister, sisters, pretty much, you know, anyone that he felt had crossed him or could cross him, he became very nasty about.
What, if anything, do you recall Mr. Depp saying about his mother and comparing his mother to Amber?
Mr. Depp told me that his mom was viciously cruel to him during his upbringing, and that she was also viciously violent with him and with his siblings and with his father. He referred to her, pardon my language, as a bitch and a cunt.
Maybe she was.
A lot.
Maybe she was.
And he seemed to kind of compare them in the sense that he said at one point, something to the effect, it's right here actually. Yeah, I already have a mom who was a bitch to me. I don't need another one in my life. There was a fair bit of that kind of my mom's been awful enough to me already. I don't need another woman who's gonna also be awful to me.
What, if any, discussions did you have with Johnny about the fights he had with Amber?
We had a lot of discussions about his fights with Amber.
What do you recall?
In the very beginning, he expressed that she made him feel crazy, that he was so in love that it made him feel crazy. The very first time that I mentioned, September of 2013, when he and I were alone together a lot, he expressed that he thought that she was cheating on him and sleeping with her co-stars in England on the films. And I said to him, or in the film, and I said to him, listen, I know her, I think, pretty well, and I talk to her a lot, and I think if she was having an affair, I would be one of the very few people that she would tell about it. And I don't hold secrets or lies for anybody, and I would tell you if that was happening so you could make your own decisions. But as far as I know, that's really not the case. And I think that she's really in love with you. And I think that she also is worried that you are having affairs because both of you are used to being sex symbols on Earth, and both of you need to just accept the fact that you're really in love with each other and lean in and be together and love each other. And he told me that sometimes his jealousy would make him feel crazy and outside himself, and that he had to get it under control, and that it would cause them to fight, to be specific in regard to your question. He told me about the fight that they had the time that I went up there. Are you asking for specific instances, or are you asking about the nature of their fights?
No, I am asking for what he told you about their fights and specific instances, yes.
So to continue with what I was saying from before, he told me about the fight in the middle of the night when I was living down the hill at Sweetser. When I mentioned that I saw him with a heavy pour of whiskey, I went outside to the pool and spoke to him, and he told me about the argument that they had and that she gets mean during fights, and that it really hurts his feelings, and that he then lashes out at her, and that, you know, she called him old, and he then calls her soon to be ugly and talentless, and that they get really ugly with each other. He told me about a fight that they had. We went to England that September.
Did you pay for it, or she?
It was Whitney's birthday, I think. Amber's sister, Whitney.
Okay.
And Amber was stuck working. My birthday, Raquel's birthday, and Whitney's birthday, the three people who she was closest to, all have birthdays in September. Raquel's just before the end of August, whatever. We're all Virgos, and she couldn't be with any of us on our birthday.
Oh, so Virgos.
We all went to England to surprise her. And during that trip, Johnny proposed to her. And they then, I'm pretty sure that night after the proposal, got in a huge fight, which they both told me about separately. And he said, I'm pretty sure that he trashed the hotel room. Let's see. I spoke to him after, I went and talked to him after their fight on the plane.
So that's the Boston, LA plane incident, is that right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Tillett-Wright, I'm going to ask you about the Boston, LA flight incident. You talked about it a little bit earlier, and you just said now that you spoke with Mr. Depp about it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What do you recall of your discussion with Mr. Depp about the Boston plane incident that happened in May of 2014?
And I went upstairs to his bedroom, which was like blacked out, and I woke him up. I remember shaking his shoulder and saying to him, hey, buddy, like, wake up, which was not something that a lot of people did to Johnny, wake him from his slumber. And he woke up, and we had a conversation about what happened on the plane. And he didn't really remember being on the plane. He didn't really remember getting off the plane. He didn't really remember much detail of anything. And he swore up and down that he was going to stop, and he was going to stop drinking and taking drugs, and he was going to never do it again. That was that incident.
What if any meetings related to alcohol did you and Amber attend in this time frame?
I understand, because we didn't go to many meetings. I took Amber with me to Al-Anon, which is
You took Amber?
It's like a sister program to AA.
Okay.
For the family and friends and loved ones of addicts and alcoholics, which I regularly attended. So she came with me to a number of Al-Anon meetings, and she also had, I think 1 or 2 phone calls with my dad's wife about how she dealt with helping him get off of his drugs and drink less. And she read a number of books about it. She was watching documentaries about it. She would listen to any radio show she could get on, like anything she could get her hands on that would give her some tools for how to deal with this, she consumed in that period.
What, if any, communications did Johnny have with you in this time frame about wanting to get back with Amber after the Boston plane incident?
We went to New York, and I remember we were staying at the Ace Hotel in Midtown. And Johnny started reaching out to me. He went eventually back to Boston to start filming again. Would have been in like the next day or 2 because we weren't there for that long. And he reached out to me and basically said something to the effect of like, you know, I have to fix this. I will do anything that I can. And then while he was in Boston, he let me know. And I think he was trying to reach Amber too, but she wasn't ready to talk to him. He let me know that he had engaged Dr. Kipper and that he intended with every fiber in his being to get sober, and that the nature of the conversation at that point was that he was going to beat this thing. You know?
Yes, please describe for me what transpired, what you discussed with Johnny and Amber relating to Australia in 2015.
After because they were married in February and they went to Australia in the spring.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a moment, and forgive me, I just want to keep it chronologically there. You described earlier that you were present for the wedding, correct, in February of 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And you also had discussed about Amber wanting Johnny to be sober for the wedding. What, if any, observations did you make about Johnny at the ceremony and with respect to whether he was sober and clean?
You know, I don't actually know whether Johnny was. I don't think Johnny was drinking on the day of their wedding. I really don't actually think he was. Let me rephrase that. Before the ceremony on the day of their wedding. Because I was going back and forth between their respective like private preparation quarters where they were getting ready, because I was technically her best man and his son Jack was his best man, but I wasn't one of the girls and felt more comfortable over there with them, but I was helping all the girls. So I was running back and forth on this golf cart I was also taking pictures. I was one of 2 people who was friends with them that had worked as photographers, so I volunteered to take pictures. So I was very intimately with Johnny and Jack leading up to the wedding, and he wasn't drinking, I don't think. I don't remember seeing him drink.
And then let me ask you this. After the ceremony, as you were walking to the reception, what, if anything, did Johnny Depp say to you about Amber?
As we were walking back from the ceremony, we were coming into Cafe Los Cabrones, which was where the party was happening. And I was walking with Johnny and congratulating him that they pulled it off and that they did it, you know? And he said, we're married. Now I can punch her in the face and nobody can do anything about it.
So I'm going to now turn your direction to Australia, roughly a month later after the wedding. You weren't present in Australia with Amber and Johnny, correct?
That's correct.
I'm showing you what has been marked as exhibit number 3. Do you recognize anybody in this picture?
I do, yeah, myself and Miss Heard. I do, yeah.
Please describe what you see.
I see a number of long, thin cuts.
And what, if any, similarity are those to the ones you just described, having seen after Amber returned from Australia?
Very similar.
All right. And are they the same or are they different ones?
I would have no way of knowing if they're the same or different ones, but they're similarly long, skinny cuts like the ones that I saw after she came back from Australia.
I'm going to show, Mr. Tillett-Wright, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 5. And it's a text message exchange. Do you recognize this text message number here below Arrow's Arc?
That's my old phone number, yes.
Okay, so does this represent a text message exchange between you and Amber Heard on 12/16/2015?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and I'm gonna start you at the top with the blue. It says, "I need you." Do you recognize who is sending that message?
Yeah.
Mr. Tillett-Wright, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as exhibit number 6. Do you recognize the person in this photo?
Yes, I do.
Please describe what you see in this picture.
I see Amber Heard, and I see an injury to Amber's scalp.
Okay. And what, if anything, do you recall about seeing anything similar to that when you arrived in December 2015 at Amber's penthouse?
I remember this being one of the injuries that I was shown when I arrived at Penthouse 3 at the Eastern Building on December 16th, 2016.
And does this picture that's marked as exhibit number 6 accurately depict what you recall seeing?
I remember this being one of, I think maybe 2 scalp injuries that there were. I remember there was another one as well, but I could be mistaken. I believe there was another one that was on a different part of her head as well.
Do you recognize the picture that is set forth as exhibit number 7?
Yes, I do.
Please describe for me what is depicted in this picture that you recognize.
This was a picture of Amber's scalp.
And does this accurately depict what you saw when you were shown it, as you testified earlier in December 2015?
Yes, it does.
Mr. Tillett-Wright, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 8. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, I do.
Please describe what is depicted there.
This is Amber Heard's face with a very swollen lip.
And does this accurately depict what you observed when you arrived at Amber Heard's penthouse in December 2015?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 9. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, I do.
Please describe.
This is the clump of hair that I was shown, I believe, when I arrived at Penthouse 3 on the night of December 16th, 2015.
And does this accurately and genuinely depict the scene that you recall seeing?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Now, what if any plans was there as of December 16, 17 of 2015 for Amber to be spending Christmas with Mr. Depp and his kids? Do you recall?
Taking the pictures down while we talk. Yes, I do recall. There was a plan for Johnny and Amber and Lily Rose and Jack and Raquel and her boyfriend or fiance at the time, Josh, to go to the Bahamas. Oh, and Raquel's mom and Amber's parents to go to the Bahamas and spend Christmas on the island together. Yeah.
Mr. Tillett-Wright, I'm going to ask you, what, if any, conversations did you have with Johnny Depp about the December 15 incident?
I don't think that I don't know that he and I had a direct conversation about it. I'm not sure if he and I had a direct.
So what, if any, I'm going to show you, Mr. Tiller, right, what has been marked is deposition exhibit number 16. It's a text message exchange dated 2/10/2016. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do. It's a text exchange between me and Amber Heard about a video that she sent me.
Okay. Now it starts out, hi, Steve left me a voicemail at 5 a.m. And that's from you, correct?
That's correct.
Do you remember what the voicemail message was?
Yeah. Johnny called me at 5 in the morning and left me a voicemail in the character of some kind of management, of like a property manager. And he said something about, yes, hello, this is management. And I don't remember what he said, but it was something to do with like, we have a situation that we need to change out the something. And it was just a lengthy, just off the wall nutbag ramble in the character of management.
Mr. Tillerite, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 17. And then Alex, I'm going to ask you to play this.
Motherfucker! What happened? What happened? Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning.
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really? Really? See that shit on me, motherfucker?
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Oh, bye.
Thank you, Alex. You can take this down now. Mr. Tillerite, do you recognize that video?
Yes, I do.
Was that the video that Amber sent to you on the text message exchange on February 10th, 2016?
Yes.
Do you recall watching that video on February 10, 2016?
Yes, I recall watching that video at the time that I received those text messages.
So I'm going to take you to 21 May 2016. What do you recall with respect to a telephone call you received from Amber?
Sure. I was in New York. I was there visiting family. I was in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I was walking down Manhattan Avenue, and I got I believe, a text message from Amber that said something to the effect of like, "Can you talk?" And so I called, and I was walking down the street as this happened. She put me on speakerphone, so I was talking to both of them. He just stopped by to pick up some of his stuff, and he has a theory that he either he wants to ask you about, or and I said, "Okay, sure. Hello, Johnny," like, you know. And he, I think it was he said or she said, Johnny thinks that you and I together defecated on his pillow. I think the words were used were shit on his pillow. So I started laughing, and I was laughing, she was laughing, and when I realized that he was serious, I was like, okay, look, you know, first of all, I wasn't there that day. And so he got very agitated by the fact that she and I thought it was funny. And he started to get more and more agitated, and I could hear him walk away from the phone. He came clomping back down the stairs. I heard like a noise, and then the phone dropped. And he said to her, "Oh, you think I hit you? You think I fucking hit you? What if I peel your fucking hair back?" And then I heard the phone drop again, and then I heard her scream. I remember her screaming. And I hung up the phone, and I called Raquel immediately because I know that she lives one door away, and her and her boyfriend Josh, who's a big dude, would be able to get there the fastest. And I called her, texted her right away, and I hung up with her and immediately called 911 in New York. And then I called a friend of mine in LA who I knew had met Amber a number of times. And I think I may have placed a second call to NYPD. Now I'm all frazzled and I don't remember, but I think I called NYPD.
Mr. Waldman made some statements in April and June of 2020 that quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media used fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some for sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. That was made on April 8, 2020. What, if any, impact did that have on Amber based on your observations?
Amber retreated. Amber became isolated, embattled, extraordinarily distressed.
And then on June 24, 2020, Waldman accused Amber Heard of committing a, quote, abuse hoax against Depp. What were your observations of how this impacted him?
I think that my previous statement encompassed that.
During the time that you were friends with Johnny and you were speaking with him up until you testified December of 2015, what, if anything, did Johnny Depp ever tell you about Amber Heard being physically violent to him?
Nothing ever at any point.
Do you agree with me that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard had many verbal arguments?
Yes, I do.
And you were a witness to a lot of those verbal arguments, correct?
I was witness to some verbal arguments.
Okay. And did you ever hear Ms. Heard say anything mean to Mr. Depp in those arguments?
Yes.
And did you ever hear Ms. Heard anything vicious to Mr. Depp in those arguments?
Yes.
So would you agree with me that when they argued, they were mean and vicious to one another in what they said?
I would categorize it very differently, sir.
Well, you testified that you heard Ms. Heard say mean and vicious things to Mr. Depp when they argued, and vice versa. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And although you witnessed arguments, verbal arguments between the two of them, where they exchanged mean and vicious statements, you never saw Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion, correct?
Objection.
No, I never saw either of them physically assault the other ones.
Did you ever experience him become violent as a result of or because of smoking cigarettes or joints?
As I've already explained to you probably 8 times, I've never seen Mr. Depp become physically violent with Ms. Heard. So if that's what you're asking me, if he smoked a cigarette and that made him violent, I think you know that that's ridiculous. And the answer is, again, no.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp become violent in any
attitude, buddy?
On account of him smoking cigarettes or joints?
If you want my honest,
he's lying.
my honest answer is that Mr. Depp mixed substances constantly. And I keep trying to tell you that. He mixed all kinds of things together when he got crazy and violent. So, and upset and paranoid. So, and I never knew what he had taken.
When you say when he got violent, when did you see him get violent?
I saw Mr. Depp throw glasses and dishware on at least 2 occasions, which I would characterize as physically violent. And do I know if he'd smoked marijuana or cigarettes before that? I don't know.
When were those 2 occasions?
Sometime during the time that I was living in Sweetser.
Next door, rent free?
And once at the Eastern Building.
And prior to
You
throwing
never saw him get violent, but he saw him get violent.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Imbibing any drugs or alcohol?
I couldn't tell you, but seeing as Mr. Depp always was smoking cigarettes and marijuana, my assumption would be yes.
Okay. Do you recall when Ms. Bredenhoff showed you a picture of a clump of hair on the floor?
Yes.
When you saw that, that was more than a day after it was allegedly pulled from her head by Mr. Depp. Is that right?
Well, if you want to get technical, my understanding was that their fight happened very late at night, which is technically the morning of the 16th. And I arrived at her house around midnight, the night of the 16th. So technically, it's not more than a day after. It's in the same 24-hour period. So technically, the answer to your question is no.
Okay. So
if you say technically one more time.
On the ground. When you saw it, was it your understanding that it had been there for more than 20 hours?
I have no idea what time their fight started or ended, so I don't know if it was 20 hours or 16 hours or 13 hours. But my understanding, again, was that they had gotten into a fight sometime in the morning of the 16th / late at night on the 15th. I don't know at what point during that fight in which the clump of hair was ripped out of her head, but it happened sometime then and there. So yeah, sure. My understanding was that that clump of hair had not been moved since it was ripped out of her head.
All right. Completes. All right. Who's your next witness?
We have another video deposition, Raquel Pennington. It's a long one, so we could listen to some of it
All
tonight.
right, let's go ahead and
into-
start. Why don't we
Okay.
go ahead and start it today? At least get 30 minutes in. Okay.
That's fine, yeah.
All right.
And Your Honor, just for your benefit and the jury's benefit, the questioning starts with Ms. Vasquez on behalf of Mr. Depp, and then I question Ms. Pennington at some point, which will probably be tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
But that wasn't a good video for their side.
Mm-mm.
I doubt this one will be either.
Name for the record. In what city and state do you currently reside?
Los Angeles, California.
You've been deposed before.
Everything comes back to Kelly.
Yes.
The evil.
And you were deposed in Ms. Hood's divorce proceeding for Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you been deposed in any other matter?
No.
What was the purpose of the declaration that you submitted during Mr. Depp and Ms. Hood's divorce?
The purpose of the thing that I wrote, which I don't know if it was technically called a declaration or whatever it was to write down my account of events as fresh in my memory as possible.
And Ms. Heard asked you to write down your witness account. Is that correct?
I do not remember actually. I think, I don't know.
Did Mr. Depp ask you to write down anything in support of any legal filings?
I don't remember.
So it's your testimony sitting here today that you don't remember one way or another, whether it was Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard that asked you to write down your witness account during their divorce. Is that correct?
I wrote down my account. That is the memory that I have. I wrote down everything as clearly as I could remember it, as soon as I could.
You provided a witness statement in the UK proceedings. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Do you recall how many witness statements you provided?
Just one.
And you provided this witness statement to the son's attorneys?
I don't know who it got provided to.
Did you testify in the UK trial?
You can't remember that?
Yeah. Alive. She doesn't
And
know
for which
alive.
party did you testify for the UK trial?
I believe it was the publication.
And by the publication, you mean the Sun?
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke to Ms. Heard?
Perhaps 6 months ago, maybe more.
What did you and Ms. Heard speak about?
Probably, it was before her baby was born. So we were mostly speaking about her baby at that point.
Did you speak to, when was the last time you spoke to Ms. Whitney Heard?
Around November, October, November of last year.
And when you say last year, you mean 2021?
Yes.
When did you first meet Ms. Amber Heard?
I believe it was 2003.
When you met Ms. Heard in 2003, you developed a friendship. Is that right?
Yes.
All these friendships.
Would you say you were best friends?
Amber was putting all the people on.
Best friends.
Your friendship with Ms. Heard, it persisted through her relationship with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were friends with Ms. Heard through her divorce from Mr. Depp as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than when you lived at the Eastern Columbia building, which we'll get to, did you ever live with Ms. Heard?
Yes.
When was this?
2017? 2017 to 2018. Yeah.
Where did you both live?
We lived on Holly Drive.
Was that a home?
Yes.
And did you pay rent?
You got it.
No.
So another free one?
Yes.
Sitting here today, do you still consider Ms. Hurd a friend?
Rent free?
I wouldn't consider her not a friend.
What does that mean?
We don't speak. We are not enemies.
Why don't you
That's
speak?
weird.
We grew apart.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Rhonda, can I put my question read back?
Yes.
I don't know, because I have friends I haven't
Yeah,
spoke to
give
in
me one
forever.
reason
I
why
never
you
say
grew
we're not
apart from
enemies.
Ms. Hurd.
Exactly. Why would you even use that?
I wanted to spend more time with other people in my life and prioritize other relationships and other relationships.
Over the course of your friendship with Amber Hurd, did you ever see her using illicit drugs?
Can you define illicit drugs?
Not prescribed.
I like her.
Yes.
Did you ever see her use cocaine?
Yes.
How many times?
I don't know.
More than once?
Countless?
No.
Less than 10?
Yes.
Less than 5?
Yes.
If you remember, when was the first time you ever saw Amber Hurd use cocaine?
How do you
remember?
Shout out to Rick James.
Right, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine with Ms. Hurd, Amber Hurd?
Yes.
How often?
Not often.
Was there a point in your relationship with Ms. Amber using more cocaine?
No.
Did you ever see Ms. Amber Hurd use cocaine while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
A long stroke.
I don't think so. No.
Right. Why Amber look petrified?
She on her
Yes.
knees.
She
Are you
probably was
aware
on her
that
knees.
Ms.
They probably
Amber
had
Hurd
that
is taking
type
a
of
drug called
relationship.
Provigil?
On eggshells.
Yes.
The frenemy.
Do you know when she started taking it?
No.
Do you know Amber Hurd is part of the
Do you know
LGBTQIA?
whether Amber Hurd
I
continued
don't
to
know
take
that.
Provigil during her relationship with Mr. Depp?
She assaulted her wife.
Ooh.
No.
Did she ever tell you that she had stopped taking Provigil?
She never told me that.
Are you familiar with any of the side effects of Provigil?
No.
Did Ms. Hurd ever tell you that she was experiencing any side effects as a result of Provigil?
She never said anything about that.
You testified you saw Ms. Heard use mushrooms less than 5 times, yes?
Yes.
Each of those 5 times, or less than, was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Did you say each of the 5 times?
Right.
Not each of the 5 times.
How many times that you observed Amber Heard use mushrooms was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
All right, cocaine and mushrooms.
Maybe 3.
Appreciate you some more. We're going to keep
Do
it
you
up.
recall the specific occasions when you saw Amber Heard use mushrooms while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
The first Coachella that we went to, the second Coachella that we went to, and maybe.
What's she smiling for?
Free attention.
But I can't be sure of that.
Was Mr. Depp at Hicksville?
Yes.
I find it weird that she's smiling through these testimonies, but when they were talking about things that were supposed to be
Is that correct?
devastating to her, she had no
I don't
emotional
remember
response.
which month,
Correct.
but I did move into the penthouses.
Approximately in 2014.
Approximately.
And Ms. Heard at the time was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes.
And it was Mr. Depp who invited you to live in one of the penthouses, right?
They both did.
When you say they both did,
Because they're married.
they both sit you down and invite you to live in the penthouses?
I don't remember how the invitation happened, but it came from both of them.
This was a
Because she had
penthouse
nagged
in
him and he
Penthouses,
said
right?
yes.
Correct.
And specifically, the one you lived in, it was referred to as Penthouse 1, right?
Correct.
And when you moved in, Mr. Depp gave you a master key to all the penthouses he owned, right?
It could have been one of his assistants.
When you say one of his assistants, you mean one of Mr. Depp's assistants?
Correct.
So either Mr. Depp or one of his assistants gave you a master key to all the penthouses that he owned, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Depp never charged Mr. Drew for rent while he lived at Penthouse 1, did he?
He did not charge him any rent. No.
Did either of you get physical?
No.
And how was this argument resolved?
We talked it out.
You recalled another argument with Ms. Heard at Holly House, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was this argument about?
I think that we were setting up for Thanksgiving, and we were looking for maybe some glasses or some dishware. We had just moved in and we couldn't find them anywhere. And then she finally found them in a place that I thought I had looked, and we started arguing about that.
Appreciate that, Marcus.
She thought that I wasn't looking hard enough, I think, and I told her that I thought that I looked there. Yeah, I think that's what their argument was about.
Was this just a verbal altercation, or did you get physical with each other?
Yeah, I believe that I pushed her.
How did Miss Amber Heard react to that?
She either pushed or hit me back.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know where she hit you?
I think it was on my cheek.
Do you recall any other physical altercations that you've had with Miss Amber Heard?
No.
Do you recall any specific instances when you saw Amber Heard get into a fight with someone else?
No.
In the time you've known Amber Heard, have you ever seen her wear hair extensions?
That's an easy question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Did she have hair extensions in while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Ooh,
I don't know when exactly she had
Ooh.
them throughout the time of knowing her.
I'm going to mark as Pennington Exhibit 1, Ms. Pennington's witness statement in the UK proceeding, which is dated June 16th, 2020. Ms. Pennington, first and foremost, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington, this is a sworn witness statement that you provided in the UK, right?
I understand. I wanted to get to the bottom and make sure that this was the one that I signed and saw the date, and that was the full document. I just finished it. Yes, this is the document.
Did you write this witness statement yourself? Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Such
Did
an
anyone help you
attitude.
write
These
this?
entitled people.
All her friends.
No.
Did Amber Heard help you write this?
No.
Did Amber Heard's counsel help you write this?
No.
Other than your attorney, did you speak with anyone about the preparation of this witness statement?
No.
Could please turn to the 10th page of the document where your signature
Lies.
is,
You saw that eye move she
or
just
a
did?
signature is?
That's what happens. She got no poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your signature on the 10th page?
I'm
of the
taking Amber Heard to
document, Ms.
Vegas.
That is my e-signature, yes.
Are all the statements in this document true to the best of your knowledge and recollection?
Yes.
You previously testified that you went on a trip to Hicksville with Ms. Heard, Mr. Depp, and some other friends. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall when this trip occurred?
Not off the top of my head.
Do you recall who else went on that trip?
Yes.
Who else was on that trip?
Whitney Heard. Nathan, who was one of Johnny's assistants. Brittany Eustace. Kelly Milano.
Anyone else that you can recall?
Trying to remember. No, I don't remember anybody else.
Where were you all staying?
At Hicksville Trailer Park.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp become, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, toward a friend of yours?
Yes.
Relative to where Mr. Depp was, where were you when this occurred?
We were around a campfire.
My question is a bit more specific. Relative to where Mr. Depp was when this occurred, where were you sitting or standing?
I was at the same campfire.
How close were you
In
to
a
Mr.
circle.
Depp?
6 to 10 feet.
What time of day did this occur?
Evening.
Had you consumed any drugs or alcohol at this time?
I think so.
What do you recall consuming at that time?
I don't remember. Likely wine. I don't remember specifically.
Do you smoke any weed?
No.
Lies.
Did you consume any cocaine?
No.
Had you consumed any mushrooms?
I believe so.
I wonder if she's under the influence during this
MDMA?
deposition, because that's how her testimony reads.
Yeah.
No.
Just look at slouching.
Who was the friend that you referenced Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive towards?
Kelly Sue.
How did you know her?
She was married to a work friend of mine.
Do you have any independent recollection of how long you had known Kelly Sue Milano by the time Hicksville occurred?
More than 1 year, less than 2.
What did you witness Kelly Sue Milano doing that evening before Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive?
I witnessed her hang out with the rest of the group.
Did you see her consume any alcohol?
Not that I remember.
Do you see her smoke any weed?
No.
Consume cocaine?
No.
Did you see her consume any mushrooms?
Maybe 1.
With you?
So I'm genuinely trying to remember. I saw her eat some amount. I don't know how much.
Did you see her consume any MDMA?
No.
You testified that Mr. Depp said words to the effect of, quote, get off my woman, end quote, to your friend. Is that right?
I testified that.
Did you personally hear Mr. Depp say that?
Yes.
Is this the, quote,
So
angry and aggressive, end quote, conduct by Mr. Depp that you testified to?
Yes.
Other than telling Kelly Sue Milano to, quote, get off his woman, end quote, what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote?
Hey, welcome, Bernard. Appreciate you.
That was what happened. Then
What happened?
Amber, I think Kelly and Amber were hugging on a chair out by the fire. He came out of nowhere, said that, and then I think that Amber and Johnny went back to their trailer.
Other than hearing Mr. Depp say something to the effect of "get off my woman." What did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive?
That's it.
Did you hear Amber say anything to Mr. Depp?
I don't remember her saying anything.
Did you hear Amber Heard raise her voice when speaking to Mr. Depp?
No.
What, if anything, do you remember about Amber's reaction to Mr. Depp's behavior?
She was trying to comfort him.
This evening in Hicksville, did you ever see Amber Heard consume any drugs or alcohol?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see Ms. Heard drink any wine?
Yeah, I don't remember a specific time watching her take a sip of a drink.
Was she holding a drink?
I don't remember.
And this evening in Hicksville, did you see Mr. Depp consume any drugs or alcohol?
I didn't see any specific image in my mind of him consume.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp, quote, in a rage, end quote, that Ms. Heard described?
Did I personally witness the rage in the trailer?
Yeah.
No.
Did you hear Mr. Depp yelling in the trailer?
No.
Did you hear Ms. Heard yelling in the trailer?
No.
Did you personally see that the trailer was, quote, trashed, as Ms. Heard described?
The next morning?
Yes.
Yes.
What specifically did you see in the trailer?
The thing I remember specifically was the light fixtures had been knocked off.
But you didn't see Mr. Depp knock off the light fixtures in the trailer, is that correct?
I did not see it.
So the only thing you know about what happened in that trailer is what Ms. Heard told you and your observations of the light fixtures being knocked off. Is that correct?
The only thing I know about what happened in the trailer is what she told me and what I saw the next morning.
And the only thing you saw the next morning was that the light fixtures had been knocked off. Is that correct?
That was not the only thing I saw. It is the specific thing I saw.
What else do you recall about the trailer?
It was in a general disarray.
What does that mean?
Was trash. It was torn apart.
What besides the light fixtures were thrown apart?
I've already told you specifically, I remember the light fixtures.
What's up with the
The
attitudes?
rest is a general disarray.
Because she's an entitled snowflake
What
druggie,
is the general
and
disarray?
that's why she doesn't want to answer certain questions, and she's
Stuff off
lying.
the counters.
Emotional damage.
Things strewn about on the floor.
Did you see Ms. Heard shortly after she returned from Australia?
All right, why don't we just stop
Yes.
right there? So that'd be a good breaking point, I think. Okay, okay. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break for the evening. Again, do not discuss this case with anybody and don't do any outside research. And we'll see you in the morning at 9 o'clock, all right? Get some sleep, okay? Thank you.
Oh Lord, I think it's a lot. Let's see everybody posure.
Yeah, you definitely want to get better witnesses.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what
just
she was
saying.
giving. I'm sorry, she was giving snowflake, drug addict.
All right, we just have a
Dope
few items.
boy,
I just-
ring in
just
the
for the record, I
nose.
want to make sure exhibit plaintiff 1248 from yesterday actually should be corrected in the record to plaintiff's 1248A. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. And so the witnesses tomorrow, are they live, remote, or do we need a
We have
web link?
one live witness tomorrow. The rest are all video depositions.
So they're all depositions, so we don't need a WebEx link?
No.
Okay. All right. Other than that, jury instructions and verdict forms. I have received jury instructions from both parties. Thank you for that. However, I have not received agreed upon jury instructions as requested. So I'm not sure if that has happened or not happened as far as getting an agreed.
Your Honor, we have been trying to meet for that for a week.
Well,
Your Honor, they're identified and emailed to Sammy.
Okay, so the ones that you agreed upon?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So if you could do the same and just give me which ones you agree upon, I'd appreciate that. If we can get also by Thursday, your objections to the ones that you don't agree upon in writing to me by Thursday morning, okay?
Yes,
Can we get that? Just so I know what you're objecting to, because I only have 2 hours on Friday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. to deal with this issue. So I want to make sure we're all prepared to get that done at that time frame, okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
All right,
Yes.
great.
Your
Anything?
Honor, I just want to make clear, we haven't seen what they sent until they sent today. So
Okay,
we've been
that's
trying to
fine.
meet and confer about this for a week and
I'm not
made no
interested in
progress with
anybody's finger pointing, but I understand, but we'll just go forward from here. And if I can get them Thursday morning, that'd be fantastic, okay? All right,
Thank you,
great.
Your
All
Honor.
right, have a good evening and we'll see you in the morning.
She shut that down quickly.
She don't got time for this, man.
She shut it down quickly.
We don't got time for this.
Right. She gets the whole fan for that. She was like, nope, not today, Alice. Get out.
That poor lady in the middle. I feel for her. She had a lot of typing. It's just a lot. Oh man.
Yeah, it looked like she out of breath. And she was just typing.
Oh my God.
Look at Johnny with that wave.
There you go. Let's see, Amber Turd. That's where she going. She in the feelings.
But
Why
they
not?
were saying
Go ahead.
on the other lead attorney joint that Johnny Depp is dating his lawyer.
I mean, that's speculation. That's all I've been hearing all day. So the speculation, hearsay, speculation. Yeah, we just learned a whole new tactic today. So there you go.
Wait a minute, let me. You're gonna have to get this one. And the plot thickens.
Hearsay, Your Honor, speculation.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
No foundation.
But I do agree with some people. She'll probably never work in Hollywood again. Cause she's got big name gats. I mean, like Angelina Jolie. Yeah. I think The Rock says so. It's a lot of heavy hitters. Is like talking
especially when come to males. Especially come to males. We don't have time for that.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, that's the number one. Yeah. Momoa. Yeah, he's the main one. Yeah, he's the main one.
Yeah. He's not with it. He calls her all type of liars, and that's why they said she got fired from Aquaman for not passing the physical test, but quite frankly, I believe she's blackballed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you already know what coming to Disney, stuff like that. They're not trying to we're not got time for that either.
No.
Disney keep their stuff on tight. Ain't no
very
way to
tight.
Because even with the chick that played I don't know if anybody's seen the Mandalorian, the woman that was working there, she spoke her opinion, and it's like, you out too.
Yep. Yes.
I was so disappointed. I loved her too. And she's coming on up.
They said not today.
Nope. So what's your thoughts on everything so far, Bernard? And I appreciate you for stepping on in, man.
Oh man, no problem. Me being me, y'all know how I roll now. I take it different. It makes people that are are you saying, let me ask you, Angelus, is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm. Or you can say Aang for short if you're into the Avatar,
Okay.
Shout out to Aang the Avatar, the Earthbender. You know what I'm saying?
Aang, okay. Are you single?
Yes, I am, sir. I am dating.
So
I am dating.
Okay, so that's where I'm at. Raw B privilege. And it makes people that are single, that are doing decent for themselves, not Hollywood, you don't want to date nobody.
Yeah.
Like, because even if he would have took her phone, let's think about this. Not an Android, but even if you take an iPhone and throw it in the water, iCloud still get all that.
Okay.
So you're not even really getting rid of the videos that you're trying to. I'm just saying. So it makes you wonder, like.
Well, I even take it a step further. I would take it a step further. Just me being me, because when you said grab her phone, I wouldn't want to go nowhere near her as a bubble to reach at her to grab anything because that could be an act of physical violence itself.
It's true.
And then especially if she react toward that, then it might either she hits herself or I hit her to reach further at it. Now the cops get called. Oh, look, I got a busted lip. Like, and
I was thinking that he would be smart enough to do it while she was asleep. I was going that route. Well, we've learned, I'm sure, that at our ages, you definitely learn how not to respond on emotion.
Yeah,
it never ends well.
Yeah,
it just
because me my triggering factor, and this happened before. Where they watch now, I can care less. But my triggering factor is if you get louder than my TV and my music, like I'm like literally a distance away from you, and I'm pretty much just like this. And then if you get to the point like you got to go. Like I literally had a female ask me, and I'm just like, I don't like yelling. I was like, oh, you want me to go? Yes. There's not a drag out conversation. Just not discussing. Yes, because especially if you're not listening to what I'm saying, I'm telling you exactly in clear words, and I tell everybody, I'm vanilla as they come. So simple. Yes, leave, exit, vamoose, scatter, skadoodle. Where are we going with this conversation right now?
It's funny because a lot of my friends or people that I know, like my wife's family from up top, they tested me up Albany. You already know that. They ain't test me, but they were like, see what this dude about.
Shout out to the 518.
Yeah, I'm just saying, But Jerseyans and New Yorkers, they gonna try you, and I get along with all of them 100%. When you hit this Dixie line, I don't know what it is about VA.
Well, we're straightforward. You know what I'm saying? It's like me. I'm kind of like I said, I'm laid back. I'm pretty much be watching the whole time, but that doesn't mean I just don't dislike you or like you. I just met you. I'm just trying to figure out now if you're like a friend, like I said, if it's your wife or friend or whatever. Well, I can't say too much your wife because that's your wife. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out, but that's it. So, but yeah, if they don't like you, I honestly I respect my people's up north better because I had people just like, yo, I just don't like you because I just don't like you. Okay, I'm cool with that. So I know how to deal with you.
Exactly. But you can't do that down here and down south. People crying and feeling to some why. I'm like, what? It's just something about you I don't like. I'm sorry, but doesn't mean I want to hurt you or beat you up. I'm just saying this. My vibrations are not with yours. How much deeper do I have to get into this? Okay, you'll be okay. But
man, listen.
Me and Aang get probably raw beat. But me and him, I'm gonna use a man. Me, New Yorkers, New Jersey, we can get in each other's face like we about to fight. Like, hey, yo, you want to go get a beer? Yeah, all right. Everybody else looking confused from down south, like.
Now that's true, Raw. I got a lot of best friends and my enemies, and we fought at work and then some. I will remind me to tell you about a baked potato story in Wendy's, and I'll tell you about other things.
Okay.
Friends fighting over a baked potato in Wendy's. I promise you, that's my best friend to this day.
Look at Robbie French.
I got some stories now.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy, but it's true. I mean, honestly, I was just saying no to people up north for just as fake. No, we don't pull that. But yeah, definitely. Some of my best friends, male and female, it started off with an argument. Everybody has to, establish their territory, let you know what the 411 is, and then everything's okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What's so hard about that?
You're just gonna walk in my house and say something off the cuss. Who the F is this guy? Oh, that's your cousin? All right, man. You ass down somewhere now. Calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, calm down, bro.
And don't try to pull it.
Yeah.
And plus, I had to learn the lingo because I had a dude from up top. It was like, yo, man, you say, you be hearing the rhymes of rap songs. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, you might not want to call nobody from up north son, huh? It's like, yeah, that's kind of like he was teaching me the different type of lingo.
I didn't take it like that right there. I didn't take it that person because like it's a dude.
But you knew what it meant though. Yeah.
It's not that serious. Just like yo, like that's my homeboy or my boy and stuff like that. Like I had a dude. He's short little guy. He was annoying though, but I still didn't take him personally. He was just trying to learn. It was something he caught on, like some of those up north twang, and he said, yeah, that's what I say, yo son. And I looked at him like I wasn't offended by what he said. I was offended about like that's the only communication you got with me. Like we're trying to be cool like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You speak, I speak, we're good. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But other than that,
overdoing it.
Yeah, too overdoing it. Other than that, he was just annoying. Yeah. I mean, just annoying person, but that has nothing to do with him with saying it. But yeah.
People don't realize when you from up top people, we can have static beef. As long as you don't put your hands, it's always room for a conversation. We just gonna look at you like, look at this.
I give you a perfect example. It's the differences, Bernard and Ra. When I came to the South, right, and everybody was so nosy, like windows peeping out, can try to read your lips. They already got a story before you even come to them. Then they'll tell you about I heard. But I promise you now, in Irvington, New Jersey, in Springfield Avenue, I could be across the street. I ain't see Bernard in like a month. That's my boy up in school. We used to go hang out. And I see Bernard come on. Yo, what's good? We'll sit there, yell across the street, have a whole conversation.
Off of yo.
Just that alone. And everybody we sit is walking past, minding their business. Nobody don't give a F about what's going on with us.
They don't.
And then at the last minute with the whole conversation, I'm yelling Bernard across the street now, traffic going on. And it's like, okay, idiots, y'all was talking for 30 to 45 minutes. Yo, man, I'm about to go. Oh, yo, let me get your number real quick. Then I run across the street, get my man number, then dip.
Gone. Abracadabra.
It be like that. It's true.
I mean,
up south is a whole different ball game.
Oh, you gotta. How can I put it? You have to go into storytelling.
Yeah,
almost like. Are we gonna drag this out real long? Because they're like, no, I just feel like it was kind of harsh. I'm like, and a lot of people that are from New York, you know, a lot of them stay where my brother-in-law stays in Charlotte, like Big Daddy Kane. A lot of them, I call that baby New York there because a lot of they go between Charlotte, Atlanta, and then they hit Miami. Those like the three spots it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville
and Jacksonville, exactly.
Nice one.
Yeah, right up top. Yeah, I love Jacksonville.
Shout out to the Landon and the Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean,
get around too much, Raw. You get around too much.
I be busy.
It's different, but then again, cats from up top come. They retire up top, and they live like kings and queens down south.
A lot of my friends on my end, that's true too. But a lot of my friends up top is actually traveling. Like most of them is either some actually is here in Florida, living, and a few more classmates in about 2 years. They're coming down this way, so they're settling down between Florida, Georgia. My cousin, she's pretty much around the area Robbie know of in New York. So she pretty much visit back and forth, but she's in Decatur with her mom and her family. So they enjoy it.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I ask you guys, I'd be like, I always ask because everybody kind of has the same story or a different story. It was just like, I'm just tired of the hustle and bustle. Like it's like when you guys come down, it's like, okay.
That is true. I agree with that one too, because my mind was like a hamster wheel up in Jersey. Like I knew I would call like more like a little OCD-ish. I can calculate the time, like how long it take me to walk from my house to the bus stop, from the bus stop, how long it take the bus drive to here, how long it take me to walk from off the bus stop to the job, and then all this stuff going on 20 miles an hour in my brain. And when I came here to the South, I would just forget my car keys. And I was like, it ain't that serious.
You know, I actually didn't move south because of the hustle and bustle. I moved south because of my husband. I hate it here. I refuse to make friends here and everything. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Okay, I'm mad at you.
I mean, she's real. She is. She said Miami is not the same.
It's yes and no. Miami's like its own little world created.
It is.
It's its own world.
I agree with that.
Miami's baby Cuba.
Yeah, it's she's right because you get some of everything there. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it on that. But when you hit certain parts of Georgia, I used to truck drive for 14 years. Trust me.
Oh, nice.
There's some still sundown towns in Georgia. Play if you want.
Thank you.
Let me look in the camera. To Miss Creative and everybody that might don't be going too far on the outskirts of Atlanta. It's still some sundown towns. Play if you want.
Yeah, Mina, Arizona is one too. My work mom, and she's white. She's real cool. Never had a problem with her. And she was actually going to travel with her and her husband to visit their sister up in Mina, Arizona. But before that, she showed me all these cool pictures, and I like the road trip. And I was just like, still trying to ego on like, let's roll together. And she just kept shying away from it. So I'm like, yo, why she ain't gonna just let me roll with her? And she just sat me down. It's like, you ever heard of Sundown Town? I was like, huh? So she explained to me that her husband and his sister is originally from Cali, right? City. And he's like, I don't know why they moved to this town, but he said once they moved up there, next thing you know, he said he'd never seen one black person there at all. It made him feel uncomfortable. He said when he went to the restaurant, he just saw, it's like a seen but not heard type of vibes. And then he said a guy actually told him like, yo, nobody will be around here around like when it started getting dusk to dawn. So I was like, you serious? Like, yep. He's like, it's that serious. That serious.
It's like that in Arkansas too. They have whole movies based off like massive deletions that happen out here in these sundown towns.
I didn't really hear too much good stories about same sort of that to West Virginia too.
Oh man, I used to travel. Well, you hit 64, 81 back on 64 at Knee High off of 81 in VA. 64 take you all the way to Cali. You got to hit West Virginia. I've had probably every phone company. Probably about 30 minutes to an hour, you're just not going to have a phone. You better have a CB. Let me look in the phone. I mean, let me look in the camera, people. You might want to have a CB or something. And then you don't stop and get gas or food until you hit Beckley, West Virginia, where the truck stops are, where you get a variety of people. Outside of that, you're going to be like Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald on your own.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, me and my boy driving one day, he said, Bernard, you see that? He's in front of me. I let him take the front, and I got the back. And he goes, look to the right. And I look. Took a double take while I'm driving this big rig, and I'm like, I said, was that a school bus with no wheels with a smokestack coming out the middle of it? He said, yeah.
Hey.
Okay, let's get it. That's all I said. I got on the CB. I said, let's get it. We were going. I was like, I mean, I checked my truck before and after I hit West Virginia. It's just, and when you drive at like 2 or 3 in the morning and it's foggy, man, that thing is eerie.
I'm kind of lucky then that was going to be my next venture because the furthest I went out was from where I'm at, and I visit my mom, my stepdad, he rest in peace, up in South and North Carolina, and I got aunts and cousins over there. But the plan was to drive up there, pit stop them, rest up for like a day, then straight shot all the way up to Jersey. So I get it. So run straight through Virginia, no stops.
Well, I'm VA. I got you. North Carolina, VA.
Yeah.
I'm here. I got you. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah, that's.
I got you. They say for you and your husband, Rob B. Rivers, like, y'all get in this area. I'm like, I got you. Or I can tell you some shortcuts. And like, don't take that shortcut. But and I hope everybody know we're not getting off subject. We're just talking about where people are from and how they act, and you want to know who you're dealing with because you don't know nobody's background.
Thank you. That part.
And it's like, oh, Robbie Privilege must be from here because no, I listen to people accent. I try to hear it as much as I can. I'd be like, okay. And the further you go up north, I went to Portsmouth. What is it? Portsmouth, New England, something like that. Man, I was like, I do not belong here.
My homeboy had inboxed me, said he added to Amber Heard's case. He said she's a horrible actor. I agree.
Oh, yeah, she is.
I agree. I really don't remember her for being anything except for Aquaman, the first one. I don't remember her. So we'll give.
She was in the first one.
Yeah, she was Queen Mera, the redhead chick.
Yep, that's her.
That's the same one that you see over there with the fish face in the court.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow.
She's a whole beautiful woman. She's trying to play it. I feel like she went on one of those real quick, fast starvation diets in Hollywood dropped a good 20 pounds to make herself look gaunt and distressed because she usually has more weight on her.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Yeah,
been
I
going
couldn't
on
even
2
tell
years
that was
ago.
her.
Yeah, this
Wow.
happened 2 years ago. So it's like now the trial coming. So now you want to start looking the part? Like that's weird. That's weird.
I did not know that was her. I'm looking like she looked familiar, but I'm more of a Marvel head because I got way more Marvel comics than DC. But I'm like,
it was a note here I took where the second girl, I feel like she was more honest only because they're not friends anymore. But the other dude, it was crazy. I got you, Ra.
It almost sounded like she was paying her, like paying him, like, hey, don't say this. Hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
let me introduce you
go
to
ahead.
the real Amber. Let me introduce you to the real Amber Heard. This is what she really looks like.
All day, every day.
Wow, she did drop. Yes, that's why I couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She done messed up her career.
Mm-hmm. She's pretending. And I mean, she just also had a kid too. So it could be some postpartum stuff going on. But this is not the woman that we're seeing every day in court.
Who she had the baby by, you know?
Yes, I'm about to ask.
Hanapi somebody Page.
Oh, so how did that other guy come out? The one who had bought bought out TikTok or whoever?
Elon Musk, yeah, she was messing with him too.
Around the same time or just like right after?
I think like right after.
That's probably why he called her out too.
Okay.
Yeah. Page.
I think men just that's the only issue I got, Bernard, when it comes to men, because we I know majority have, like we said on other things, like majority of women got that sister code type thing. I think men need to have that code where if I dealt with a girl, right, and then something comes up, if somebody comes up on a situation and I hear Bernard dealing with her, you don't have to believe Bernard don't have to believe me, but I just gave you like a stern evidence or something so you can have that red flag for yourself. Then I'll move on. Now, if you don't have to believe me, we're good.
Right.
But Bernard, man, I went to jail for this girl. This girl not kicking in my windows. I'm just letting you know.
Right.
Just move a little bit better than I did, brother. And then I go about my
business.
That's
it. Yeah, that's that code.
That's it.
That's that code.
But guys, for some reason, guys don't do that or will get offended. I knew a dude at work, no lie. His wife was doing everything in the sun. Everybody in the warehouse knew. And I was scared. I never said anything to him to this day. And I was like, I can't, man. I just can't.
Let me clarify. Yeah. That is the child's name. Naga Page is her name. They're rumoring that Elon Musk is her baby daddy. So that's a single mother, y'all. She going to be on an episode of Paternity Court. Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, but see, I was about to add to what Aang said is like, they be out to them lottery babies too. Let me look in the camera. Them lottery babies. Mm-hmm. That's what I call them, lottery babies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now see, this is a woman that if Meg said if she had a baby to trap somebody, I would believe it. I mean, between Johnny Depp's millions and Elon Musk and all of his billions she's not losing. Hey, Mandrell.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, good to see you, man.
You getting sleep, sir? Getting sleep?
Yeah.
All right, because we're gonna have a long night tonight, buddy.
You're gonna have a long night.
I said we're gonna have a long night.
I'm going to sleep.
For real?
Yeah. I got to be to work by 4 all of a sudden. We just sprung that on ourselves.
Listen, I went to sleep last night about 6 something.
This morning?
Yeah.
Or last night?
Last night.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
I woke up at 4:30 and I was still drowsy.
That's what's up. That's good.
Wow.
I'm glad you're catching rest.
Yeah, I woke up at 4:30. I was still drowsy. That was
you need
good.
it. You really need it. So what's your thoughts on the whole Amber Heard turd case so far? Hashtag Amber Turd. Hashtag Amber Turd. I need a t-shirt.
I don't have any thoughts. It's over. Go ahead and give Johnny his career back.
I ain't got a lot, bro. I hope he go after everybody. We have Robbie mentioned earlier, like if he wins this case, go to the UK, take care of that business, come back. Don't join Disney, but stick it to Disney too.
Yeah, I mean, because Jack Sparrow, that's a character of his creation.
Yeah.
He created that character from nothing. It was an idea in his head, and to have all that taken away from him, it's sad. And Will Smith is what I've heard, is what I've found out today. Sounds like they're taking away his role in Aladdin 2. He's not going to be the genie.
I'm okay with that. This is on his end. It's his actions, bro, that for his consequences. So
yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Plus, he sucked as genie.
I didn't watch it because I like. I like the cartoon, so that was just me.
Same here. I like the cartoon as well. So that's one of my favorite Disney movies, the first Aladdin movie. But when I saw him as genie, I was like, oh, when I saw the live action, I saw him as genie. I was like, okay, but why though?
Everybody trying to make this buck.
They messed up the whole movie. And I tell you, I'm gonna let y'all know how childish I can be. Disney is life. Like, I still watch the original Cinderella, but when I watch that bastardized version of Aladdin, I just let her go.
Yeah, this case is done. And Amber Heard, I remember seeing her in the first Never Back Down movie. She was hot in that. Then I saw her in another movie called Drive Angry with Nick Cage. She was hot in that.
I remember that. I just didn't remember her face. Like, I remember Nick Cage in a lot of movies. The first Nick Cage was Raising Arizona.
That's a classic though.
That was mine right there. That was my movie verbatim. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a classic though, man. Yeah, I remember that one. She was in Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage, and she was also in, like you said, the Aquaman movie. And she was filming Aquaman 2 while this trial was going on.
Oh Lord! But according to her, when the questions being asked, she was like, she don't know nothing about nothing, but at the same time, she said, "Hey, they may use a little bit snippet here, a little snippet there." Nah, chick, I'm gonna keep it 100. They're gonna CGI the hell out your ass for the whole role, and then maybe support and maybe add another one in there. Because really, she was a support actor. She really wasn't a major one at all. Like, real talk, it was could have been, and that's how you mess up.
Thank you. And see, this is okay. Let me look at the camera again. We're not on Black Man Unfiltered. So this is another place where I can wind down. Mandrill Spot and the Great Field Podcast. Look, people, everybody's talking about having your own, getting your own. Even if you, just like, who was it, Young Pharaoh last summer, making $60,000 a month on YouTube, you still can't come out your mouth acting crazy. You will lose all of that. People need to understand that Hollywood, YouTube, whatever you're doing, don't build stuff up and come out your mouth wrong. Get you a lawyer team that is thorough and a group of guys like these brothers around here who I know, and I ain't even have to know these guys long. I know they'll check me because they built like that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. You don't want to mess up your money. That'll put you in a bad state of mind. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying? Everybody think that, oh, yeah, I can own my own business. Okay, it takes one bad customer to sue you. It takes one bad customer that could be Oprah or somebody and be like, no, don't go there. You done.
Yeah, that's true.
People, and I think a lot of people get caught up. Freedom of speech. Okay, go ahead and say that, but be ready for the repercussions.
That's fair too.
The thing is, unless you don't care. Number one, you don't care, and number two,
right?
What you're saying is serving the right narrative and the right crowd. Like, take for instance, take all these conservatives out there, you know, and like Candace Owens and Tommy, what do you call him? Tommy Sambo Mayor.
Yep.
And Kanye West.
He's canceled though.
Yeah, him and Kanye West. They need to cancel that nigga too. Now Kanye is a nigger with a hard ER.
Okay, number one. Hey, sir. Sir. YouTube friendly.
Who's too friendly?
YouTube friendly, sir.
Oh, YouTube friendly. Gotcha.
All right, let's pretend. let's pretend you know where you at.
Okay. So, like I said, when the spooks come out and start spinning that garbage,
it always works for them, right?
She said, "Hey, he's YouTube friendly." They don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
And the point.
All right. So when they come out and start spinning that garbage, they're spinning the right narrative for the right crowd, and they make white supremacists feel comfortable, and that's what make them what they are, trash. And no matter what they do with their life, they'll always be garbage.
Well, circling back to Amber Heard thing on this one, like
just 1 second, Bernard. If you haven't noticed, I don't like race traders.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't like race. I don't like race traders. That goes for everybody. Just in case y'all didn't know, my bad. I didn't preface it. I really don't like.
There's not the preface. Like, how about we just zip our lip and be respectful every other platform we jump on. let's try that for a second, for a hot minute, because here in the Great Bill Podcast, we respect everybody's perspective, and even if we do have the opposite genders, they can speak their mind here too.
Yeah, I respect their perspective too. I respect it. I just don't respect them.
Okay.
Just call them what they are, man. They're human beings.
But at the same time, when you're the Great Bill Podcast, you're gonna watch what you say on this platform, sir.
All right, I will.
Let's be colorful with the wordplay. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. Because I'm looking at you and I'm seeing Robbie eye jump up, and she's been around this place a little bit too longer than I have. So we're both on the same field. She don't have to say anything.
Is that bad what I said, Robbie?
She don't have to say.
I don't want to get channel dinged or anything like that.
Sir. She's not answering you because this is not her channel. It's not platform. I'm speaking on behalf of me and Minka. Okay.
I don't want to get your channel dinged or anything like that. I'm trying to get you monetized.
We don't have to explain away. I'm just telling you that's a no.
All right, cool.
Let's not add context to it.
Fair enough.
All right, cool. Now, with that being said, the first one, it was his friends, the guy that was getting rent free for 9 months. For 9 months for being a friend, rent free. Getting all these trips for free.
Kato Kalin?
That was his name?
I didn't know his name.
That was a good reference.
You know what I'm talking about, Robbie?
I do.
What he's describing sounds like Kato Kalin to me. I was like, this sounds familiar. While he was saying it, he was listing stuff off. I was like, this sounds real familiar. Where do I know this from? I was like, oh, that's right.
I feel like it was very obvious that he had a relationship with not one but both of them. You know what I'm saying? On a whole nother nature than just, hey, that's my guy there, fist bump. But I feel like it's a whole nother one. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Yeah, he was tap dancing hard.
I ain't gonna lie. The whole time he was having this conversation, first of all, like her friends got all the attitudes out the world, and then secondly, I kept like saying it in my head, and Johnny, when he was talking, I'm like, Johnny, where you find these friends at?
Yeah.
Where y'all find these friends? This is not your friend. You do not come out your mouth. You do not be that open. You're married. You're a married man. I get the part you trying to figure out some stuff about your wife and you asked him that specific question. I give you that pass. But you do not need to be that open to another man about your marriage, sir. You do not do that.
Well, let's be honest. We live in a very polyamorous, fluid situationship era. And now his compound in Los Angeles is worth $100 million, the 5 homes. So I can't see me letting I don't care how wealthy I am. Mm-hmm. Let's say I'm dealing with you, Angelus, and we're together and you have a homeboy. Your homeboy's like, oh, well, life is great, but oh, it's so nice here. Hey, Angelus, you should let your homeboy come and stay with us for free. No, who's doing that? Clearly, this is a thing that I think a lot of people miss as well. Johnny Depp is clearly very business-minded, or whoever is managing his portfolio is doing it well. He has property all over the globe. Mm-hmm. People don't really understand. It costs a lot of money to maintain property, not just in like mortgage payments and property taxes, but in the actual maintenance and running of the home. So he's doing well. For him to take those type of losses in the real estate market, especially during the 2010s, was out of control. No, there was some. I believe that there was some entanglements, but that's just speculation, and that is allegedly.
Entanglement.
Well, that goes back to your team. That goes back to a strong team.
Entanglement with August.
That's right.
I gotta get that. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you done. He done on that one, Masters of the Universe.
I'm writing that down right now.
Yes, that is my goal.
But I mean, it still goes back to your team, because let's prove it again. What you just said, at least with him, and then we'll bring it back. Same thing with Allen Iverson, right? They got whoever that guy was and say, hey, you're not gonna get that $50 million until you 50 years old. So if you done blew your money, by the time you 50, you done learned your lesson. So he's got like 30 or 50 million coming to him when he turns 50, if he hasn't already turned 50. Somebody did that back for him when he was wilding out. That was smart. That's the type of people you want on your team.
Right.
For the record, Bernard.
Yes.
If my financial advisor ever tries anything, see, this is why I'm never giving anyone power of attorney over my finances. Ever.
Oh wow.
I will hire a financial advisor to advise me, and that's about it. He will not manage my funds.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair.
Oh, Mandrell. Speaking of that, I graduate tomorrow.
Congratulations. That's great news.
Oh, update me. What's
Robbie,
going on?
Congratulations. What will you be graduating from?
Oh, you remember
University?
remember I told you about that QuickBooks certification? That's all over. So I'm officially certified in all of
certified in QuickBooks. You're gonna handle my books for my my company?
Yes, I'll do that for you.
Okay, how much you gonna charge me?
We'll discuss price later.
No, you were supposed to give him the Martin answer that the plumber gave him. May cost you a little, may cost you a lot. But it's gonna cost you.
Got
him. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Y'all gonna let Mandrell live? I ain't gonna do you like that, Mandrell.
Robbie over here busting my head over the price.
Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, when you work with him for like a year and get that contract together, you go talk to this man.
Lead attorney here.
He'll get you hooked up right.
I don't handle that kind of stuff. I'm a family attorney. Guys, listen. He has the goofiest laugh, man. He has the goofiest laugh. Like,
but you know what? We talking about he's 6'4". He's the demigod.
He's a better. He's a fucking nerd. He's a nerd. I mean,
and you know what? That's what I like about him, because it was him. And I even can put all of us in this category. What I like about this part of the YouTube space is like the 80s. You knew that was Luther when he sung. You knew that was Teddy when he sung. You knew that was. You just knew everybody who they was, but they had their place.
There was Big Luther and Little Luther. I was on both of them.
That's true.
Yep.
He couldn't decide.
I don't know why we argue about both versions. It's the same person. That just was
weird
the
to me.
Dude. We
That's
argued
when he was bigger. He sang better. That's it.
You think so?
Yep. He gave you that soul. It was coming from his soul. Listen, I can't go that deep.
And also in this little corner of YouTube that we're in, there's another tier of maturity that I've noticed. Security Boss, Black Men Unfiltered, Great Pill Podcast, now Bernard, and especially Robbie. There's just another tier of maturity here. You know,
right?
No one's over here capping. You know, I make $300,000 a month, right? I make $300,000 US a month. No one's.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So when you're in other sections of YouTube and you hear that kind of nonsense, that's your reaction.
Oh, when they rent the Lambo and take a picture with it,
right? When you're in other sections of YouTube, you hear that kind of nonsense.
Oh, hold on!
That's your reaction.
And buy our course. Yeah. This is
right. Yeah, right. And buy my course.
All you gotta do is watch JT Pocket Watch it. He will expose them, because he will look up the house and be like, "Oh, the house is not in your name." I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, but JT
he crushed it. But he crushed a lot of people though.
Yeah, JT is also biased with something. With some people, there's some people that he's biased.
Well, would it be fair to say that if you just with the technology and stuff we got today, wouldn't it be fair to say, hey, if you just type in what you're looking for in Google or YouTube search, you will find it. You don't have to necessarily stay onto one person. Let's say JT Pocket Watch is one guy, right? you can go get other references and other resources out there too. You don't always have to be him. Because I know a guy that actually purposely, all his content is nothing but debunking and defrauding people consistently.
Yeah, no, JT, his contest.
I was actually talking about Spencer Cornelius.
Oh, I haven't seen him. Okay.
Yeah, he was a guest on Lead Attorney when that whole thing about the when Fresh and Fit was fraud. Yeah.
Okay.
With that whole scenario, and he actually gave me an idea of how a caveat of running my YouTube content, because something happened with Sir Hell the other night, and I didn't laugh at him, but I laughed at the situation because that happened to me, and I said, "Oh, now I know how to do it better." You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him.
Yeah. I went all the way back to Sir Hill when he was calling his real government name sitting in a car, and I had commented on it. I guess he was like, "Yo," like I was like, "No, I like to know
people." Yeah,
exactly. I saw his growth. I remember he got one video up where he's in the kitchen. He's like, "Hey kids." He's like, "Sorry about that." I was like, "You watching people get it in and put their work in, man. You respect that." I'm just saying, you know. But
that's why I can't wait. Like I can't wait to like it just come back. Like right now. I remember. I mean, it's not that far ago, but Zone 559 to this day, he's like my favorite troll of the Great Pill podcast, and it was because only reason I knew of him because we was a guest on another platform, and we left from there and came here, and he just trolled us. And then at the end of it, when it was ended, he said, "Oh, he said I saw your guys on Melody, so because that came over here." I said, "Oh, cool." And I went over there again just to show support, and I didn't know he was the mod over there. I said, "Oh, that's what's up." So he's our favorite troll. I want Snuggles. I mean, that's just me, my pettiness. I want Snuggles. Snuggles on everybody else's platform, so I want Snuggles come up here and troll here.
I had somebody test.
Huh?
Snuggles 668.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Snuggles.
I like Snuggles.
I tripped me. Know who it is? I think
he tripped me out. He trips me out when I think it was better when Nathan had the reaction to Snuggles, and Snuggles was like, "Yo, drop me the link." And you see the balloon, and he said in the super chat, "Yo, where my link at?" And he's like, "Yo, who is Snuggles?" And I just died. So I love Snuggles.
Yeah. The Snuggles is more what? What's the word I'm looking for? Secretive than what's her name? Jessica X. Like everybody knows both, but it's like, but Snuggles, you just don't know if it's a man, woman. You really just don't.
Yeah, know. But what I like about Snuggles is he's like those type of trolls. I like because like they're having that good engagement, and he's a clever troll. Like I'll throw some facts at you and let you, and then keep the conversation going. Like if I can trust him, I'd have made him a mod. I'd have made him a mod. But he's a good conversationalist, so I like Snuggles. Shout out to Snuggles.
Yeah, Snuggles be in the comments trolling hard some nights. Some nights he be in the like. There's been a few times I've had to cut the camera off and laugh.
Yeah,
and some of the stuff Snuggles says, man. I mean, he's a trip. He or she, whoever that is.
Yeah, exactly. He or she. You just don't know.
Yeah, I'm with the rest of y'all. I have no clue what that person looks like.
Yeah, Snuggles be having me look like this half time when he be in a chat with other players.
Basic as fuck.
Yeah, Snuggles be putting on him. Good old Snuggles. All right, man, we're gonna wrap it up because we have for the viewers out there on our end. I appreciate Robbie stepping in and giving her expert advice on this. And that was a good chill moment for me. Might do this again tomorrow. Let me put my ugly face up in this bad boy. We might do this again tomorrow. They said court will start at 9 a.m. I don't know if that Eastern Pacific, whatever, but we'll find it.
Specific.
Yeah, Pacific. Okay, cool.
Pacific with the
Pacific. Okay, cool.
It's in the ocean.
I thought they were doing it in the VA. I thought they were doing it on East Coast, England.
I thought they were. Sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Where are they at? VA or where are they at? I don't even know where they at.
Robbie, you muted, lady.
Well, then that sucks. Yeah, they're in Virginia. I think they're just playing it on both coasts just for the wonder of it all.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in like they're in what we call Nova, Northern Virginia.
Okay. Nova, yeah. All right. So we'll check this out tomorrow. We'll see. Depending on how I feel. honestly, the first half of it was pretty interesting. The friends was very triggering for me, the witnesses. So we'll see how this lasts. But later in about Ramana 3 hours, we will be having a great conversation. It'll be the ladies panels, ladies only. The topic will be about what women want in the bedroom, relationships, all that good stuff. I will have questions on the side for Mika. We will see if Mika, because she will be hosting it, I will be in the back of the ground doing all my little bells and whistles, and see if she want to bring people on for a guest, preferably a guy, to ask some questions for a few minutes or two. So it's up to her. So interesting conversation. Saturday, we don't have a topic yet. I will find something before the day over with. Y'all will know in advance for that. But definitely for next week, on the guy side, we'll have something for Tuesday. Stay tuned for that. I will hit up the Billions before the Billions and a patron of his to talk about real estate, because I've been talking about that for weeks. So got to keep my word on that. So next week, Thursday, will be about real estate. This Saturday, keep us subscribed, hit that bell notification button, all that good stuff. So anybody have some last words real quick? We go with Masters of the Universe.
Yes, fellas, let this trial be a lesson to you. Trust no one. Okay? Especially your wife, because this happens.
Oh,
my notes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God.
All right.
Amen.
But now, what you got, sir? You're muted.
I'm sorry. I agree. I agree with Mandrill. Not the wife part, but you just
yeah, you do. You
could
just
be with
slipped
people.
up.
I mean, you just hey, you just don't know who to trust nowadays. It's like Flavor Flav say, "Who I trust? Who I trust? Me. That's who. Me." That's where we at. That's all I got.
Shout out to you. I appreciate that. My partner for crying out, rocking it with me on this one. I appreciate you like always. Final thoughts.
First of all, I want to invite all of you gentlemen and all the gentlemen in the audience to come through to my panel tonight, 10 o'clock CST. We're going to be talking about what men want with Ask Nathaniel, the billionaire mindset. But don't listen to, well, I won't say don't listen. Some men in the world, they're leery of women, and that's okay. Another quaalude, he'll love you in the morning. And that's it.
There you go. All right, ladies and gents. See y'all in about 3 hours. Hit that subscribe button, what women want. And then, like Robbie said, at 10 p.m. on her end, her YouTube name is just like it is, Robbie Privilege. And she will have another perspective of what men wants. All right. So, yeah.
That's all, folks.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna